And a very pleasant Saturday afternoon to you. Welcome to Dubois, Wyoming. We are at 7,000 feet of elevation and a spectacular view on a spectacular Saturday afternoon in Wyoming, where we're set for Wyoming six-man football and senior day at Dubois High School. We just saw 5 Dubois Rams recognized, part of the senior day festivities. And in week 8 of the high school football season, the Rams are going to have their work cut out for them against a very talented Burlington Husky team. These teams respectively rank number 3 and number 4 in the OhioPreps.com coaches and media poll this week, and they've had a long history of battling each other. They saw each other twice last year. Dubois beat them in the regular season, then it was Burlington meeting them again in the semifinals and ending the year for Dubois. So Rams and Huskies coming up as we welcome you to Dubois High School. I'm Jared Anderson, joined alongside Scott Fuller, Jason Peterson, our camera operator this afternoon. And Scott, I know Wyatt and I had the opportunity to do a six-man game a few weeks ago. I had to refamiliarize myself with the game of six-man football. You grew up playing sort of similar football, but I think it's been a while since you've been to a six-man game.
It's been a long time since I've been to a six-man game, that's for sure. We did have that growing up in Colorado. I went to a very small high school in Blackhawk, and we played 8-man. But already there are differences. We had a 100-yard field. The field was narrower as it is here for six-man, but we did have the full 100 yards. This one is shorter, and there are a bunch of other rule differentials between your typical 11-man and a six-man game that people are going to be watching here from Dubois and Burlington.
One of the things you'll see right away if you're used to 11-man football is the quarters are slightly shorter. They go from 12 minutes to 10 minutes. As Scott mentioned, the field dimensions are a little bit different. I like that Dubois has it ready here on the field. We actually get the 80-yard field where the 40 is right in the middle of the field, as opposed to the last game that Wyatt and I did at Natrona County High School, where they still had the 100-yard field and then the yard markers to try to give you a rough idea where you were on the field. We'll have a much better idea of that this afternoon from Dubois High School. Also interesting to note, too, for Fremont County football fans, that Dubois is playing at their old football field. This is not at the newly constructed Dubois High School. This is where they've been all year. Had some issues with the field and the new sod, thanks to the spring and summer moisture. Just didn't work out for football play there, but I'm sure by next year, hopefully they get that in shape. But I quite like this field, particularly the backdrop that you'll be able to see on the camera all afternoon long of those gorgeous mountains here in Dubois, Wyoming.
It's also beautiful behind us in that the field was built into a natural mesa on the outskirts of Dubois, and everybody, of course, familiar with the yellow and blue D, and that's our vantage point. That's where we're standing overlooking the field. On the press box, that's the view that you have watching on the County 10 YouTube stream and Facebook as well, but the backdrop is perfect. We lucked out last night in Riverton with just a beautiful night, perfect night for football, and driving up to Dubois later on in October, it could go either way, but we definitely are fortunate to have some snow to look at on top of the peaks, but everything here in the valley is warm and sunny right now.
Definitely. I chatted, and you'll hear my interview coming up with David Tremblay, the head coach of the Dubois Rams. I remarked about the perfect weather day, and he said, well, if you were here last week, the trees would have been a little bit more impressive. A lot of the leaves have fallen off, but I just can't imagine a better afternoon for an October day in Wyoming. Thanks to Porter's Mountain View Supply in Riverton, making our pregame show possible. They're at Sunset and North Federal in Riverton. Stop in and say hello. They've been supporting Fremont County athletics here, our streams, both video and on the radio all year long, and they support a lot of what's going on in Fremont County. Again, it's number 3 Burlington, number 4 Dubois coming up in just about 12 minutes. This is the Porter's pregame show on the County 10 Sports Network. We'll take a quick time out, and when we come back, you will hear from the head coach of the Dubois Rams, David Tremblay, getting ready for senior day at Dubois High School. You're watching Dubois football on the County 10 Sports Network.
Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmvs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give them a call at 307-332-7184.
At Eyes on Fremont, we know that good vision is about more than just seeing clearly. That's why we're dedicated to providing expert eye care for the whole family. From children's exams to contacts, LASIK to glaucoma treatment, we're here to help. We accept most insurance plans, and our experienced team will make sure you feel right at home. Schedule an appointment today at 111 South Broadway in Riverton, or give us a call at 307-856-9000. Visit WyomingEyes.net to learn more.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Just think about, what am I doing right now?
Smile. Smile?
Uh-huh.
This is so easy.
Nobody likes to be stopped by the police, but if I'd seen her texting while driving and given her a ticket, it just might have saved her life.
Back on the Porter's Tailgate Show, chatting with head coach of the Dubois Rams, David Tremblay. Coach, picture perfect afternoon for football. Can't think of a better weather day than this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and then you think October, mid to late October. Yeah, it's just beautiful out here. Last week it would have been a little prettier. We had a few more leaves still on the trees, but it's a pretty beautiful day out.
It is great. Your team is familiar, I think, through the years with how tough this Burlington team is, but what do you know about them this year? What do they bring to the table here today?
We'll see what they throw out at us. But they're a sweep right, sweep left. They're going to trap inside, and then they're going to throw the ball. Defensively, they've got a couple of different fronts that we've got to be ready for. And Burlington's always got speed, and so we have to square our corners up on defense, and then we need to round our corners on offense if we're going outside. If we're going inside, then we can work inside. But I assume they're going to be pretty much what they've been.
Both of you know your opponents in the first round of the playoffs already. That's all settled. How important is this game, though, to finish the year feeling pretty good about yourselves, go out on the regular season with a high note?
Well, it's always, every game is a game. You only get so many of these to do. And, so you got to bring it. And I know Burlington's going to bring it today. And this is a big, north-south thing. I keep thinking we're in the north. I don't know why we're in the, anyway, I get confused because we're, but anyway, it's a good north-south battle. There's a little bit of that. We'd like to make sure that the South is well known and well represented, as well as Dubois represented this week, and just obviously get ready for next week. Because everything's down to the wire then.
Senior day is always emotional, maybe some extra emotions for you, but what has this senior class meant to you and the community?
You had to ask that. These guys are wonderful. I've been around them since, coached most of them in USA Wrestling when they were little tykes, and, 6th grade football all the way up. And back then when they were in middle school, it was just me and Monty. And so we had them in middle school, and then we had them in high school. And so, when you have a group like this, it's a pretty special group.
Yeah, definitely. I'll save the other questions about that, hopefully, for our post-game interview, if you don't mind coming up afterwards. But I'll close it with this, because I know you've got to get it back out to your team. But health, injuries, morale, how's your team feeling?
We're pretty healthy. We lost Saban earlier, but otherwise, I think we're pretty healthy. I'd like to think that we're going to be ready to come out and play today. They got a pretty good solemn face on, and it'll be fun to watch.
Coach, appreciate it. Best of luck.
You bet. Thank you.
He is David Tremblay, the head coach of the Dubois Rams. Got him a little bit choked up, and understandably so, when I asked him about the seniors on this team. He didn't really want to talk about things personally, individually, but it is a big storyline that this is very, very likely the last time that Coach Tremblay, in his 26-year run as head coach of these Dubois Rams, will be coaching here at Dubois High School. Of course, Dubois has qualified for the playoffs, hopefully a deep run there for them, but they'll start at Kaycee, and bearing a huge first-round upset involving Little Snake River, they'll probably go on the road if they advance to the semifinals too. So probably Coach Tremblay's last game here from Dubois High School, adding to the extra emotion for today.
I can't imagine 26 years coaching in one program, let alone coaching football anywhere for 26 years. I can relate a little bit to starting with kids in middle school and coaching them there and then bringing them up to high school. You really do get to know them as almost part of your extended family, and all the classes that Coach Tremblay has brought through, I can just imagine the memories. Definitely a career well coached, but it's got to end sometime, and if this is the last home game for Coach Tremblay, it's just going to be emotional. There's an end to every book, and we'll see how it plays out for the Rams here today, but it's a very cool storyline heading into this first or final regular season game for Dubois.
Yep, definitely. We do know the playoff opponents for both of these teams next week. In fact, all of six-man is set. Dubois will be on the road at Kaycee next Friday for a 2 o'clock kickoff, and Burlington will host Farson in the quarterfinals. That game time is still yet to be determined, but looks like all the six-man games so far have been set for Friday. Burlington, at least historically, has been quite the force in athletics in 1A play across Wyoming. Best known for basketball and their volleyball teams. They do have 2 state championships in their school's history, 1994 and 1992. Off to a great start this year. The only loss on their season is to Custer, Montana. That was back in week 1. They have not been beaten by a Wyoming opponent. On the other side, Dubois has a state championship in 2012, and they're hoping to make some upsets and make some noise in the playoffs this year. Take a look here at team stats on the Porter's pregame show. Dubois comes into this one averaging 387 yards per game. 50 of that comes through the air. 337 of it comes on the ground. They average 59 points per game. Defensively, Dubois allows 293 yards per game, 182 of that rushing, 110 passing, and they give up 31 points per game. On the other side, Burlington has the number 1 team offense in six-man football stat-wise, 458 yards per game, 316 on the ground, 141 passing, and they score, get this, Scott, 73 points per game.
It's a healthy average. So you're saying, Jared, we may see some touchdowns today.
I have a feeling that's a good bet. There's no odds makers in Wyoming high school football, but if there were, I would take the over.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty high over set as well. But that's what makes six-man so fun. The field is shorter, it is narrower, but even with the smaller surface area per guy on the field, there's actually more open space, and the offensive schemes are a little bit different with the rules that we'll review before we get started here. But there's all kinds of creative stuff that you can do with sweep action and halfback passing and all kinds of wackiness. It's not a great comparison, but it's a little more like the old arena game than the NFL. But I honestly was happy to play 8-man. It was a lot more fun to play, I thought, and the teams I also thought tend to be a little bit tighter, tend to be a little bit closer. And if you've got a couple of talented guys, that's all it takes on offense and defense to make plays, and it just becomes a shootout in the second half.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot of fun, even if you don't necessarily have a rooting interest. Stick around for this one because six-man football is just so much fun, and if nothing else, you'll hear me struggle to try to keep my stats all together with these halfback passes and trying to figure things out. A few of the names to keep an eye or an ear out for: Dubois led by Wyatt Tremblay, Tremblay, their senior running back, 231 yards per game. He's got 40 touchdowns. That's right, 40 touchdowns on the season. Wyatt Tremblay is, by all accounts, from what I've heard from a few folks in the know, getting recruited by a few different colleges in the area. He is one of the best six-man football players around. So number 21 for Dubois is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Dubois at quarterback, led by Siler Hess. He passes for just 24 yards per game, but you'll see a lot of those kind of halfback passes. A few different folks will get some passes in the air, but Siler is sort of their team leader. He's got 2 passing touchdowns on the season, and he's also a force on the ground, rushing for quite a few yards this season. Burlington is led by Jordan Michaels. He's their quarterback, not to be confused with Michaels Jordan. Jordan Michaels, their quarterback. 8 touchdowns through the air, very safe with the football, though, has not thrown an interception yet, but where he makes the most of his ability is on the ground, averaging 180 yards rushing per game and 17 running touchdowns for Jordan Michaels. Weston Gottfredson is the leading receiver for this Burlington team, averages 62 receiving yards per game, has caught 4 touchdowns, and Joe Bassett is the team's leading running back when Michaels does hand the ball off. 56 rushing yards per game, 5 touchdowns. He's also caught 4 touchdown passes. So just a few of the names to watch as we count down to the last couple of minutes here before kickoff on Senior Day at Dubois High School.
Clock right now as we count down, with most of the Senior Day festivities already complete. Did that in front of the home crowd on the far sideline with the 5 seniors, I think we totaled. Recognized each of them. Each of the players wrote a couple of paragraphs on what their years at Dubois High School and playing football has meant. That's all in the books, and we're under 60 seconds on the clock before we get this one going. See that Burlington brings a little bit deeper team roster size-wise, but as Jared indicated in the stats, they are ranked 3 and 4 for a reason. Should be a pretty evenly matched game. I'd be pretty surprised if we see a 3-touchdown difference either way at any point.
I believe we'll get a national anthem here in a moment. Mentioned Dubois is led by Wyatt Tremblay in his 26th year. Trent Agard is the head coach for Burlington in his 7th season at the helm. We will salute the flag here and let you listen in to the Star-Spangled Banner momentarily.
We'll get ready for the national anthem. If you will please stand up and remove your cover. Wrong anthem. Give me a second. Are you all rocking? That's the important thing. All right, you're going to do this a cappella because the iPod's fighting back. Ready? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early night? Keep going. Good. Awesome. So say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Ladies and gentlemen, you couldn't hear that on that side, but it sounded awesome from this side. Thank you very much.
The Star-Spangled Banner
as sung by us.
You know what? Not opposed to that. Make do with what you have. We almost had Journey as the national anthem there for a second.
It was kind of cool. I think I'm starting to learn quickly. If you hang around Wyoming high school football long enough, you'll see just about everything. But we got the national anthem done. I'm not used to having that sung at me as we're standing right by the flagpole, but we should mention that anyway, because on the camera angle, as we get to the left side of your screen, you are going to see a pole that is the American flag pole on top of the press box, so that's unavoidable on our part. We'll do our best to mitigate that for you, but apologies in advance for obstructed view seating just a little bit here today.
Yeah, I want to thank the Dubois wrestling coach, Coach Ramza, who came up and actually made the flag disappear from our way, was able to raise it a little bit for us. We can't do anything about the flag pole, but the flag itself no longer an issue, thanks to the head wrestling coach from Dubois High School. Thanks to Coach Tremblay and the Tremblay family for having us, and also a big shout out to Caleb, whose last name I've forgotten already. Caleb, the IT guy here,
saved us
at Dubois.
Saved our lives. Thank you, Caleb.
Pretty much the only reason we're on and able to stream is thanks to Caleb and this Dubois staff. So we appreciate that. Appreciate Dubois for having us up here, and thanks to you for watching along with us on County 10's YouTube and County 10's Facebook page. Again, I'm Jared Anderson, joined alongside Scott Fuller. Jason Peterson is our camera operator this afternoon on a sun-drenched day in Dubois, Wyoming. There's a little bit of snow high up in the mountains, but down here at football field level, it is, we're just basking in the sun. Dubois starters being introduced to the home crowd. The Burlington Huskies coming to this one 6-1 overall. Again, their only loss to Custer, Montana. They have not lost to a Wyoming opponent this year. Dubois is 5-2 on the season. I know a lot at stake when you think about emotions and senior day, but not a lot at stake when you look at the standings. Everybody knows where they're going in the playoffs next week, so it'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
As Coach told you, every game's a game, and that's both literally and figuratively true, but it is, and I think it's a meaningful thing for him, obviously, this potentially being his last home game that he's going to coach after 26 years, and there's a tune-up in different areas, I'm sure, that he wants his team to focus on to get ready for the playoffs, so no, the results of this game won't matter in terms of next week and the beginning of the playoffs, but every game is important, and especially the last game that a handful of these kids and maybe their head coach will play here in Dubois.
Freshman Cooper Kinsler is ready to boot it away for the Dubois Rams in their home blue uniforms. I'm used to radio where people might not be able to see. You can probably see if you're watching on the video. Burlington in their away whites with orange pants and black helmets. Jordan Brodelo is back deep to receive. Will field it on a bounce and stretch it out across the 20-yard line down to about the 23, where Burlington will set up shop for their first time offensively.
Probably a good time to go over some of the differences in rules for six-man. First of all, we are 1st and 15 on a shorter and narrower field to start every first down possession. And you'll probably see most immediately a rule that the quarterback cannot advance the ball himself after taking the snap. He's got to pitch it backward, or at least laterally, and you'll often see the quarterback then involved immediately pulling in the blocking scheme.
2 behind Jordan Michaels, the senior quarterback for the Huskies. Will turn and hand it to Michaels. That's actually Jordan who lined up in the backfield there, so some trickery already for this broadcaster. That's Raquel Andrew, who lined up under center on the first play from scrimmage.
When it comes to passing plays in six-man, everybody is eligible, so you have to work that into your coverage.
Pickup of about 3 on the first play. Andrew's going to stay under center, turn and hand to the first guy through, who picks up a yard. That's Joe Bassett with his first carry. So a 3rd and medium coming up here. Of course, it is 15 yards, as Scott mentioned, so bring up a 3rd and 8, according to the public address announcer. I'm going to rely on that PA announcer because chains are on the near side and they don't put them on the scoreboard, so we'll call it 3rd and 8. Quarterback goes under center. We'll send Michaels in motion. They'll pitch it to Michaels, try the right side. Flag comes in. He did not get to the first down marker, it does not look like. Stretched out nicely by Wyatt Tremblay defensively, and a couple other Dubois Rams. See what the flag's all about here, and then see if it is on Burlington, what they ought to do.
Interesting decision. It was, I think, a hold on Burlington. So now 4th down, knowing that Burlington is not going to punt, very likely, according to Wow Preps, Jared, you mentioned in the before we went on the air, Burlington hasn't punted all season, so you can decline the penalty and force a fourth down, or you can take the 10 yards from the spot, which is what it looks like the Rams are going to do, and force them to gain that ground back.
So we march backwards. Football is placed at the Burlington 25-yard line. It is still Andrews under center. Didn't see him at quarterback on the stat sheet this year. They'll send Jordan in motion. Now halfback pitch. Bassett will throw it out to his intended target. That's Gottfredson, who hauled it in nicely. Had to come a little bit backwards to haul it in, but Gottfredson has enough for the first down of the game and the first pass completion of the game.
I don't know if I agree with this spot. Let's see if we can see it on the Gambles replay. I thought you might have seen the receiver after the completion step out of bounds right before the, tough to tell, right there on the near sideline, but the official gives them the extra yard or two. First down for Burlington.
Rykel Andrew will line up in the shotgun, trips out to the right side and center all by himself. Now we'll pitch it backwards to Michael, who wants to throw with it. Jordan will flare it out to Bassett, and Joe has a gain of about 4 on the reception.
There's really good coverage downfield by Dubois. Play was kind of blown up, looking for one single read there, and then the tight end staying with the play. Call him the tight end just for the purposes of description, but he kind of leaked out, helping his quarterback to find an open space, and made a loss into a gain.
Rykel under center this time as a receiver out to the right side, and Michaels comes in motion. Fake the handoff to Michaels. Bassett is just going to plow forward. He's met by Wyatt Tremblay and Siler Hess.
So if you're a fan of the triple option game and the 11-man game, this is what 6-man affords you the ability to do. Here you see a pitch and the counter give off the sweeping receiver. There's a lot of fun play design that you can drop with a 6-man. It's just a little bit too crowded to do in 11-man.
Rykel Andrew in the shotgun. He's got 2 men behind him and 2 out to the right side. Andrew with the option to Jordan. Jordan is going to be corralled right at the line of scrimmage. Jonah Ord in there with Siler Hess. Ord and Hess. Give them a half a tackle each.
See a strange formation like that if you're used to the 11-man game. You get the center and he's the only offensive lineman, and you think, why wouldn't Dubois just kind of blitz and bring everybody? There's only one blocker back there, and the answer is if they get outside quicker than you, half of your team is already in the backfield.
Andrew will pitch it again. Michael wants to throw. He's got Bassett. Bassett is going to take it the distance. A touchdown throw from about 35 yards out, and with 6:18 to play first quarter, Burlington goes on top first 6-0.
First of what we expect to be many touchdowns run or thrown in this game. And difference in rules in 6-man as well as this extra point will be worth 2.
They will fake it and throw it into the end zone. That was Bassett to number 16 there. That's Jordan Broderloh, who will give the 1 point on the fake PAT there. So it's 7-0 Burlington on top of Dubois. 6:18 to play first quarter.
So for those confused watching right now, if you kick the ball, it is worth 2, but any 2-point conversion, so to speak, is worth 1. And the logic there is it's more difficult to kick from that distance than it is to convert in 6-man. So while they lined up to kick the PAT, they ended up trying the quote-unquote 2-point conversion, which is only worth 1. Anybody confused so far?
Mainly I'm concerned about our cameraman, Jason Peterson, who nearly fell off a ledge from about 20 feet up, but
we've had
Jason's okay. Jason's okay.
A couple of locations where Jason's life has been in danger. Just hang in there, Jason. Star Valley was one of them. Darrell in the press box.
Wardell will kick it away for Burlington. Kinsler is back deep. He'll pick it up on a bounce at his own 10-yard line and is hit before he can get to the 20. So Dubois is going to start out with their first possession at their own 19.
Yeah, we got what Coach Tremblay expected we would get out of Burlington on their first scoring drive. And expect you're going to see in one fashion or another a heavy dose of running back when you have a back with 40 touchdowns. Obviously very tempting to get him the ball one way or the other.
Wind picks up here. You can hear it through the microphones at Dubois High School a little bit. Siler Hess, the senior under center for Dubois, Wyatt Tremblay, and Jonah Ord. Get some flags before Dubois can get the play away. Procedure penalty was going to be a pitch to Tremblay.
Back the Rams up 5 and create a 1st and 20 off of the opening 1st and 15.
We'll see Xander Hawkins under center a little bit too for Dubois. He and Siler Hess shared that role both out there. Jonah Ord, Wyatt Tremblay, Cooper Kinsler round out the Dubois roster offensively here to start drive number 1. So 1st down and 20 after the false start penalty. It is Xander Hawkins under center. Hess will go out to the left side. They'll pitch it to Tremblay. Tremblay's going to make up the loss from the false start penalty and a couple more. A gain of 7 on 1st down for Wyatt.
It's that yardage before losing the ball, but it was out of bounds. Nice lead block there on the outside. Just like everything else in the 6-man game, just because there are fewer blockers downfield, makes it twice as important to get your isolated guy and get in front of him. I imagine we're going to see quite a bit of that. Sweep left and right, and then throw something tricky in there.
Love the Dubois PA announcer already. I don't have her name in front of me, but 2nd and about 11 was the official call, which is what I'm going to go with too, because she's smarter than I am. Hawkins will hand it to Tremblay. Try right side. Tremblay's got a lot of room. He's got a 1st down and more. Tremblay finally pushed out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Nice pickup there. Wyatt Tremblay, you're going to hear his name an awful lot on the broadcast.
Some things a running back will do in 6-man is different, but running back play is running back play on a carry like this. Got to hit the hole, find the gap, and establish where you want to go downfield. And Tremblay, you see why he's run for so many yards and so many touchdowns. Does a great job of doing all that.
Hawkins will come under center. Ord and Tremblay line up behind him. I formation. Siler Hess is on the right side of that offensive line, if you will. Stiff arm from Tremblay. Tremblay's going to be corralled. Broder low, tried to tackle him around the jersey and then just hung on for dear life as he was trying to get Tremblay down for several yards. Tremblay winds up picking up about 7.
This is a fun run here on the Gambles replay. First of all, patient running in the backfield, following his blocker. And then once he does have a little bit of open space, the feet just never move. Never stop those feet from moving. Even when you've got 4 hands from 3 different guys on you, keep the feet going and keep going forward.
5:18 to play first quarter. Burlington scored on their first possession. Dubois driving. Another pitch to Tremblay. Lead blocker Hawkins with a nice block there. And
the Huskies are pretty keen on that play. He does get a gain.
A productive gain from Tremblay of about 5 will set up now 3rd and 2. So manageable 3rd down situation after back-to-back Tremblay carries.
Sustained drives by both of these offenses, each suffering from penalties, having to make up some lost ground. Each pretty similar. We haven't seen the pass game yet from the Rams. May come out here as we get closer to the red zone.
Xander Hawkins again under center. 2 in the backfield for Dubois. That's Ord he was going to give it to for the first time, but a false start penalty before we can do that. So 2nd penalty of the drive for Dubois. Been penalized twice for 10 yards on 2 false starts.
And talked about this in the Riverton broadcast last night, but not always a bad thing to have these kind of starts to games, especially in the last game before the postseason starts, when you can afford those mistakes a whole lot less next week. Gives you things to look at and tighten up a little bit before the playoffs in practice next week.
Dubois will be on the road at Kaycee next Friday. 2 o'clock is the kickoff. County 10 will be there for that one from Kaycee Buckaroo Country, one of my favorite nicknames. Fake the handoff from Hess. He's got a wide open man who is racing to the end zone. Touchdown. That's Hayden Howard with the reception. Hawkins to Howard, and Dubois on the scoreboard.
Show you this here on the Gambles replay. First pass attempt that we've seen from the Rams. You notice the quarterback with the one glove in his left hand, ungloved right hand throwing hand. It's a nice rollout to his left. Good feet control and squaring up his shoulder to make a nice throw. Receiver stayed with the ball for a Rams first touchdown of the afternoon.
Kinsler out of the Hess hold is no good. Looked like off to the left side. There is some wind whipping this direction. Don't know if that affected it at all, but the PAT no good.
I'd say 7-8 miles an hour, maybe gusting 10, 12, somewhere in there. It's not a gale. I don't think it's enough to keep you from kicking or really affect the passing game too much, but it is a side-to-side across the field wind that may factor into decisions to kick to go for 2 or to run the conversion to try for the single point after scores.
So both teams successful offensively on their first drives. 3:58 to play first quarter. It's Burlington 7, Dubois 6. Big thank you to our friends at Life Key here in Dubois making this broadcast possible. Had the opportunity again today to chat with Life Key owner Jason Kinsler. And, of course, he's got a son that's a freshman doing great things. Told me a little bit about some of the up-and-comers he's got right now in middle school and the younger kids that will be beneficial players for these Dubois Rams here very soon at the high school level. But he's excited about Cooper's future and certainly understand that. He's quite the kicker, but also quite the speedy back.
Kicking 30-yard field goals?
He is, and he's got it teed up for the Rams right now. My wife has proven that I'm not great at diagnosing colors, but are those pink shoes?
I think it's an orangish hue.
Okay. Glad we got that decided. Kinsler will boot it away. Broderloh has it go out of his grasp for a moment, able to corral it. Now he's going to cut it all the way back across the field. And a good Dubois tackle there to not let him get much further than about his own 15-yard line. That was Thad Hawkins there on kick coverage.
Both teams have done a great job so far in kick cover, and in a high-scoring game like we expect this one to be, field position becomes all the more important to what's going to be that margin of victory, what's going to decide a game in the second half, and it may well be special teams.
Rykel Andrew out of the shotgun. Again, he's taken all the snaps so far for Burlington. Give it to Michael Jordan. Dances around trying to get past Tremblay. Wanted to throw. Now he's just going to tuck it and go. He's got some space, and he's all the way out across the 30-yard line. First down on the carry from Jordan Michaels.
A really nice carry.
It was a really nice carry, as you heard the PA announcer indicate. Watch here on the Gambles replay. You're going to see toward the end of the play, well contained initially by the Rams. You'll see number 6 pop out here. He is wide open over the top. Just wasn't seen by the passer in the backfield.
Andrew, sorry, Scott. We'll pitch it back to Michael again. Jordan wants to throw. Intended target had it go off of his hands. That was Jordan Kaycee, who had a step on his defender, but pass was just a little bit too far from him.
Burlington's wanting to do roughly the same thing again here, and they're going to try it on the other side. This time, much better coverage on that receiver flying down the field.
What's interesting about 6-man 2 is I'm only doing my second game is I think a lot of these quarterback numbers you're seeing are coming from that fullback position where Michaels has thrown for the most times. He's got Kinsler all over him. Did get it away, but Tremblay is going to...
Finally able to get...
I guess that was Jonah Ord, not Kinsler there first. Ord with great pursuit, and Wyatt Tremblay ultimately came up with the tackle.
It was so much fun. I mean, every play is so much fun. You see here, this is a broken play. Everyone's covered downfield. Nobody open, and you just flip it forward. Everybody is eligible. Don't have to worry about that. So tell you guys, down on the ground, play is not over.
Andrew under center sends Jordan in motion. Now we'll pitch it back to Bassett. Bassett has a man for a first down, and that once again is Weston Gottfredson. Gottfredson has picked up 2 big receptions, 2 catches for a combined 28 yards, and a first down for the Huskies.
23-yard line.
Assignment and pass coverage is still pretty much single cover, when you go man-to-man, and if you can sneak one of your bigger tight end looking guys out there on an extended play like that, chances are he's not going to be covered by the best coverage defender that Dubois has. So you have to remember on every play, everybody's eligible, doesn't matter where they are in the field, and kind of just the key seems to be, Jared, keep the play going long enough for someone to eventually pop open. Not sure who called that timeout.
We have popcorn, candy, and water over there.
2:06 to play first quarter. Burlington on top of Dubois by a single point, 7-6. Dubois missed their extra point, or extra 2 points, if you will.
Just guessing by indicating Dubois with that timeout, we may have to correct that.
And help us keep this place clean. We appreciate it.
Burlington gathered around their head coach, Trent Agard, in his 7th year. We'll break the huddle now and send him out. New quarterback lining up for Burlington. Get that for you in just a second as they pitch it back to Jordan Michaels, who powers forward off the left side for a gain of 4.
Trips to the right there on the short side, which on a narrower field is very short, draws all the attention to that right side, but you still have to respect when they roll out to the left just like this that he may throw it.
That's Joe Bassett in there at quarterback. Great job teaming up for the tackle again. Wyatt Tremblay and Jonah Ord hard hit on Michaels, who did not gain a whole lot there, maybe 1 or 2.
So you've run the same play, exact same play twice from the same formation. They're showing the same formation a third time. Let's see if we see a throw here.
I think you diagnosed what they wanted to do, but Michaels has a lot of open space. Flag comes in. Michaels does have the first down before he's finally tackled at about the 5-yard line, but a hold is going to bring him back.
It's a break for the Rams.
Holding again.
Burlington was on to something there and didn't even have to throw to move the ball down the field, but it'll be a spot foul on the hold, and it will be third down again.
Good crowd on hand here, Senior Day festivities before we started this one, saluting 5 Dubois seniors, and again, very likely the last home game for the 26-year head coach for Dubois, David Tremblay.
Complicates things. You think out of a timeout. In fact, Burlington might have taken it because right out of it, they went no huddle. They went same formation, almost like a 3-play series that was called in the timeout huddle, and now they have to kind of regroup.
3rd and about 10 from the 19-yard line. Michaels fake handoff. Andrew has a man that is open on a nicely designed play. Touchdown, Burlington. Number 63, Hunter Agard, able to catch it, and that's another thing you see in 6-man football is guys like number 63 out for a pass. Hunter Agard with the touchdown.
PAT would be 4-2.
They will kick it away this time. Faked it last time. That splits the uprights. And with 50 seconds to play in the first quarter, it's Burlington 50, Dubois 6.
It's just so much fun to watch this 6-man game. It's so wide open, and you can get so creative offensively and just do silly backyard things. And it really is a tighter group of guys, in my experience, when you have these smaller teams, only because you're going to have 15 guys maybe on a team. You get to know each other pretty well, and that's kind of emblematic of the small class sizes that these teams come from as well. In my experience, you get to the end of your high school career and you made lifelong friends. Everybody's usually dated pretty much everybody else. It's just the world of class sizes that are 20 or 30, but it's unique in a very cool way.
A guard with the second touchdown of the day for the Burlington Huskies, and they will kick it deep. Cooper Kinsler back deep, and Brickton Wardell has it teed up for the Burlington Huskies. Wardell, if you're a Wyoming sports fan, is quite the name at Burlington High School. They've had a number of football, basketball, volleyball players with that last name that have had a lot of success. Kickoff goes out of bounds, so Dubois will start with good field position here with just 50 seconds to play in the first quarter.
The kick almost didn't go out of bounds, and obviously a live ball. The lone receiver back for Dubois has to run all the way across the field to try to get it, and he eventually made the decision that enough time had gone by to let it bounce one more time. And fortunately for the Rams, it bounced out of bounds for an illegal procedure penalty.
I'm stalling, trying to tell you where they're going to put the ball down because I don't know if I saw a kickoff out of bounds last time.
It went out at the 5, and the flag was at the 5.
Wind whip through the microphones here as it picks up from Dubois High School. We're high atop the press box. Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller, Jason Peterson, our camera operator with you here. They will start Dubois at their own 25-yard line. Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard says 15-6, Burlington on top. Seen nothing but scoring drive so far. Burlington twice, Dubois once. We'll see what they do. Seiler Hess out of the shotgun. We'll hand it behind him to Tremblay. Tremblay will go off the left edge and pick up 4 on first down. So 2nd and 11 coming up.
Just couldn't get to that left side. The quarterback, after handing the ball, you see that unique handoff behind him because the ball cannot be advanced by the quarterback after the snap. He just was not able to get around on that pursuing defender to that left side quick enough to spring a second level, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and about 12.
Hess again out of the shotgun, 2 with him in the backfield. Ord in motion, give it to Tremblay behind him. Tremblay's got some room off the right side, and Tremblay has one to beat. He is gone. Touchdown, Wyatt Tremblay from his own 29-yard line all the way to the end zone with 14 seconds to play in the quarter. Dubois has scored again.
See the initial start to this play on the Gambles replay, which is really what springs Tremblay to the outside, and he is able to finish off the run with just pure speed down the right side.
Kinsler on for the extra 2-point attempt. Snap is back, hold is down, kick is low, and will hit a Burlington player. Looked like that came off of the foot, kind of weird by Kinsler. Didn't see if there was a problem with the hold, but no extra points for Dubois so far with 14 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's Burlington 15, Dubois 12.
And just that 14 seconds that Jared just mentioned left in the first frame. Only 10-minute quarters here in 6-man, which doesn't short you, the fan, any points, as we've already seen here today. It does play into a little bit more of a strategy when it comes to the end of drives at the 2nd and 3rd quarters, and then makes things interesting, I would imagine, toward the end of the game as well, with a shorter, faster-moving game. Get your money's worth on offense, that's for sure.
All of you being there with us.
Thanks to Perfect Power Electric, making the broadcast possible. Give Perfect Power and Lander a call for your electric needs if you're around the Lander community area. They've supplied us with access to our streams and supported Fremont County athletes all year long, thanks to Perfect Power. Cooper Kinsler has it teed up for Dubois. Last week I had the 2 Wyatts, Wyatt Barichka with me and Wyatt Tremblay, and confused them, and now I'm confusing Cooper with his dad. Cooper, kick a low end over ender. Broder Lowe picks it up off the turf at the 15, spins forward out of the first tackle, does a great job of just keeping his feet churning across to about the 25-yard line, where Burlington will probably have one more snap here in the first quarter, just 5 seconds remaining in the first.
Both teams throughout the whole first quarter great on kick cover. This is the best starting field position for either team in the first quarter so far. And when you're getting points in 3-4 plays and just a minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock, it does make a difference to make a team march further down the field. This, as Jared indicated, probably the last play of the first quarter.
Junior Rykel Andrew in the shotgun, 2 behind him, 2 receivers to the right side. Rykel hands back to Jordan. Jordan wants to throw, looking deep. He's got Kaycee, but it's over his head, incomplete. Well designed, and Jordan Kaycee would have been in the end zone had that been completed, but falls incomplete. So at the end of 1, the score on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, the Burlington Huskies 15, the Dubois Rams 12. Entertaining game we've got here on Senior Day from Dubois. We'll step aside, bring you quarter 2 after this on the County 10 Sports Network.
Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
Get ready to explore Wyoming's stunning parks at Fremont Motors during the Open Road Sales Event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come back by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the open road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton, or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
Burlington football as we start the second quarter. Burlington with that 3-point advantage, corralled in the backfield momentarily, but Michaels did a great job to get the pass away. It does fall incomplete. His intended target just couldn't hang on there.
It's so strange to watch these quarterbacks who are just dead in the water, just they're toast, and somebody pops open. I want to take you back to the last play of the first quarter here on the Gambles replay, if it'll allow me to here. Oh, we had that set up. Watch the, nope, that's going to be the wrong one. I will pull it up for you because it's a fun play.
Andrew will hand back to Michaels. Michaels with all kinds of time to throw, surveying the field, still just dancing around, waiting for somebody to get open, and leveled Jonah Ord with the big hit that time on the lineman who was legal. That's another A-guard. That's William A-guard, a junior, who caught it and gained a few yards but paid the price courtesy of Jonah Ord.
Just backyard football. Just run down there, get open. This coming up here is the last play of the first quarter. Watch these. I'll wait till after this play, but nice design of the near side receivers that you'll see.
4th down and 11. Burlington dropping into maybe a punt formation on 4th and long. We haven't seen punts this year, and surveying the football field is Bassett. Now he's going to throw, has a man that is caught by Michaels. Boy, just all kinds of room back there in a punt formation. Kind of had Dubois guessing on what he was going to do, and Joe Bassett delivered a great throw for about 14 yards.
Yeah, if those stats are right from Wild Preps, Burlington hasn't actually kicked it all year long, and that's kind of their punt formation where we think we're going to kick it, we might kick it, but they never end up actually doing it, and you see how it works there. Finally, just to humor me, Jared, this is the last play of the first quarter. Watch the receivers on the bottom of the screen as they hesitate and do kind of almost a pick to hesitate and go, and it was wide open. I'm struggling to find a replay of an unsuccessfully converted play, too, but the design was very nice. Timeout taken on the field.
8:20 to play, second quarter. Again, Fremont Chevrolet providing our scoreboard. It says 15-12, Burlington on top of Dubois. nobody's stopped anybody so far. Both teams had 2 possessions basically there in the first quarter, both resulting in touchdowns. Only difference so far is Dubois unsuccessful with their extra points. Burlington has cashed in once the faked kick that gave him 1 point, and then once the converted kick that gave him 2 points.
You see how those conversions add up, though, throughout the course of a high-scoring game. It can be a touchdown differential if you miss half of yours and the opponent converts all of theirs.
Burlington's receivers way spread out to the right side. Now send a man in motion. It's Bassett that does not handle the snap easily, but is able to pick it up at the 35-yard line. Bassett with Tremblay in pursuit, and Wyatt Tremblay makes a great tackle at the 40-yard line.
You see number 25 in blue is sort of his man assignment. He was not, I don't think, a likely candidate to get the ball to throw it, but he can do anything in 6-man, and I think he's kicking himself after rolling all the way across the field, not finding anyone to throw to. That's great pursuit on defense.
2nd down and 14. Bassett again in the shotgun will take the snap, pitch it back to Michaels. Jordan stands at his own 30 as a defender crashing down on him as they try to dance around each other for a moment. Pass is complete to Broderloh. Actually, that's Gottfredson, I beg your pardon. Weston Gottfredson with his 3rd catch of the game for about 7.
Ball throwers, I guess what I'm going to call him. The ball thrower. This quarterback's kind of meaningless description, less so in 6-man, but watch him dancing around back there, and you might be thinking, why doesn't the defender just go after him? Just go get him. Because if he misses, everybody has a man assignment, and if he misses, there's 30 guys in front of him 30 yards in front of him before he encounters another blue jersey.
Weston Gottfredson now 35 yards receiving. Here's Michaels on the pitch. Wyatt Tremblay is going to escort him out of bounds after a gain of 3.
This ends up being a very nice drive so far for Burlington. After going for it on 4th and long, nice throw out of a punt formation, kind of kept the drive alive. And Burlington, with Dubois unsuccessful on any of their conversions so far after their touchdowns, are trying to pad the score in a couple of ways, I think, by finding the end zone, and then probably see them try to kick again.
Jordan Michaels has ran 6 times for 29 yards. Clock inside of 7 minutes here in the 2nd quarter. This is Raquel Andrew again under center. Send a man in motion. Now pitch it back to Bassett. Bassett looks to throw. Gottfredson able to corral it. Bobbled it for a second, and now he's gone. Weston Gottfredson will score the touchdown from about 27 yards away. Bassett to Gottfredson, and another Burlington touchdown on their 3rd drive, 3rd touchdown.
Burlington with the offensive momentum there, as you see on the Gambles replay. A little bit of a bobble, but the receiver stayed with it and then just coasted into the end zone.
Extra point attempt will make it over the uprights. It is good for 2. And with 6:46 to play in the 2nd quarter, it's now Burlington 23, Dubois 12.
Not too worried about Dubois being down by this score as you would be in your traditional 11-man game. Rams are able to score quickly. Most ranked 6-man teams are. But it does start to become a bit of a slide under your feet a little bit as these conversions are kicked successfully by Burlington, and Dubois, when they do score, haven't converted so far. Those spare points add up to touchdowns, as we sort of indicated in the last drive. And the Rams have plenty of time here, still into the 2nd quarter, but gotta find something that works consistently and quickly on offense, and then, I think more importantly, try to find something on defense to get 1 stop. Get a sense, Jared, that in any of these 6-man games, if your defense can get 4 stops in a game, that might be enough for a win.
Aiden Howard, Jet Jones, Jonah Ord, Wyatt Tremblay, Caleb Gleim, these seniors that were recognized, as was Savan Smith, and Savan is unfortunately injured in this one. We saw him out there in his jersey, but street clothes, and got to be tough to watch from the sidelines in the final time probably you'll be playing in this building. End-over-end kick is out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So Dubois will start now with good field position here on, again, what is just a picture-perfect day at Dubois. I want to say Dubois High School. It is
Used to be.
Not Dubois High School anymore. The old Dubois football field where they've been playing all year long due to some turf issues at the new field. Actually on campus there at Dubois High School. But
where I played, it was an altitude issue. We were at 8,200 feet, but at 5,000 plus here, it can't be a whole lot easier to grow grass here either.
Not to correct you, but we are over 7,000 feet. I think
that
we're
might be the issue then.
7,050.
So what we had to do is sod it every year, and then just kind of hope it stuck.
It is Hawkins again under center. Xander fakes the handoff. Now bootleg out to his left. Throws it intercepted. Taken away by Burlington, and a lot of room for the defensive back who's going to be a touchdown-saving tackle by Jonah Ord inside of the 5-yard line on the interception. Justin Broderloh as the Huskies in good position after the pick.
Now what you want, obviously, if you're the Rams, and they're so efficient running the ball with Trimble, and they do go to the air to start this drive, and it's just a little bit overthrown into a crowd. Nice play by the defender. Even better return to bring it down inside the 10.
Rykel Andrew is under center. 2 men in the backfield for him. He'll give it to Joe Bassett. Bassett will be hit after a gain of about 1. Nice job by Siler Hess to tackle him tough and not let him go.
Trap game on first down. Sets up so much for you. You can sweep it from here. You can, I'd say play action normally, but it's more of a halfback toss here in 6-man. But after a trap, whole playbook is open to you, and ball looks like it's right on the 2-yard line.
Junior quarterback runs the play in with 2 running backs behind Andrew. Give it to the first guy through. That's Joe Bassett again, who's down near the goal line. Official has his foot on the goal line, but not going to see the arms raised, or are we?
Stopped him, I think.
Stopped him.
3rd down. Obviously, Burlington will go for it on 4th if it comes to it.
3rd and goal. Rykel right back under center. Hand it to Bassett one more time, who tries the dive off the left side, and he is in that time. 1-yard run from Joe Bassett gives Burlington another touchdown with 5:32 to play in the second quarter.
True for football of any size or level that if you give your defense inside of 20 yards to try to defend, it's you're basically putting points on the board. It's tough to ask a defense to do that. That kick missed wide right, which is interesting with the wind blowing from right to left. But that was the first unsuccessful conversion by the Huskies in the first half.
And with 5:32 to play in the first half, scoreboard goes Burlington 29, Dubois 12. So Joe Bassett's been involved in the last 2 touchdowns. He ran that one in and actually threw for the last touchdown at the 6:46 mark of the second quarter. Found Gottfredson from 27 yards away. And Joe Bassett doing some work there. A couple of different ways for Burlington, and the Huskies, after that interception, starting to get a little separation on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Still lots of time in this one, and obviously you make up points fast in 6-man football, but Dubois could use a nice drive here.
They have the Huskies the 3-score threshold with that. 17 points now, the difference. And as you say, Jared, Dubois can score. They can do it in a couple of different ways, and they can do it quickly, but mention that slide under your feet starting to move. That's what it's feeling like right now.
Onside kick attempt by Wardell is not long enough, and here comes the flag finally. They both kind of stared at it for a while. Ball died at the 36-yard line, and Dubois will get it after the onside kick attempt did not go far enough.
Kind of hoping the wind would take it. I think the Huskies were. Need 3.5 more yards, but it will also be a procedure penalty and give Dubois their best starting field position of the day so far, which is right about what they need right now. Starts with one, get the ball in the end zone there the first time, and don't even have to worry about the conversion decision, I don't think, with 17 the margin and still in the first half here. If you're not comfortable kicking into the wind, then 7 points would be just fine too. But the most important thing is you get the 6.
It's been a busy weekend for Dubois High School volleyball. They'll host senior night against Burlington at 5 o'clock indoors here at Dubois High School.
It's a fun day for the community here. You have football in the afternoon and volleyball is nightcap.
Hess out of the shotgun. Tremblay with him in the backfield. Ord off to the side. Give it backwards to Tremblay as Hess tries to lead block. Tremblay to the right side, picks up 3.
Nice pursuit on that play by the Huskies defense. Dubois trying to stretch things out a little bit to the short side, and just was not a whole lot there. But that will put the ball on the right hash, and that leaves a whole lot of open space on that left side for Dubois to come up with something here on second down.
Football at the 32-yard line of the Huskies. Second, and I'm going to estimate 9. Siler Hess will go under center this time. Tremblay and Ord in the backfield. They'll pitch it to Tremblay, who looked like he wanted to throw. Now he's going to be corralled by a couple of Huskies. Break a tackle, get to the left side. Wyatt did a great job there. Didn't get an awful lot of gain. Picks up 2 or 3, but he was stopped in the backfield and created some space for himself.
Kind of see the double handoff in the Gambles replay that this was supposed to be in the backfield, but Burlington just decided to pursue downhill and blow it up. And then Tremblay, as you say, Jared, just doing his best to make something out of nothing. That was blown up 3-4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that ends up being a positive gain of 5+ on second down. So third down and about 6 coming up.
Caleb Gleim, the center, not your typical center, is also a very eligible receiver. Will snap it to Hess, who stands under him. Pitch back to Tremblay. Wyatt wants to throw it again. Now he's going to tuck it and go. Was under a lot of pressure. Nice job defensively by the Burlington pursuer, and Wyatt Tremblay gets up a little bit slowly, but does pop back up to his feet, which is good to see.
And he's walking a little bit gingerly as well, and if Dubois is going to come back in this game, he is the first step in that process, so certainly hope he's okay. And not sure he expected that pursuit coming from the backside there. He's a very patient runner, not hurried at all, but he did seem unaware of that backside pursuit on that particular play.
Before the fourth down play, Coach Tremblay and Dubois going to take a timeout. Want to give credit to Mickey Maroney, the senior defender there for Burlington, who had great pursuit and was able to tackle Wyatt Tremblay. 4:47 to play, second quarter. It's Burlington 29, Dubois 12 here, week 8. 6-man football, again, senior day here at Dubois High School. Thanks to Life Key for making the broadcast possible. And we already know what's next for both of these teams. Burlington gets to host Farson in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. They'll be the number 1 seed. Dubois will be a number 3 seed, have to go on the road to play Kaycee next week. That's a 2 o'clock Friday kickoff from Buckaroo Country, the home of Chris Ledoux. I had to work him on the broadcast when we talk about Kaycee at least one time.
I can sing if you want.
I'm good with that. I'm good without that. I can tell you there is a grandson from Chris Ledoux, also named Chris, on the Kaycee team, which is interesting to call a game where Chris Ledoux is playing.
It's a shame that Chris isn't with us, because something tells me he would be at his grandson's high school football game. That would be a cool thing.
I'd be there with a microphone trying to get any kind of interview.
5 minutes, sir. Mr. Ledoux.
4th and 5 for Dubois. Big play here for the Rams midway through the second quarter. Hawkins tried to give it to Jonah Ord, who is smothered right away. Ord going to go backwards, and a little bit of a tussle after Ord gets knocked to the turf or the grass again by Maroney. Second big play by Maroney defensively and a turnover on downs.
Out of the timeout too. That did not work. I don't think the defensive reaction that Coach Tremblay was expecting. There just was no daylight for that play at all, and that's the second either turnover or turnover on downs by my count from Dubois here in the first half.
Rykel Andrew again under center for Burlington. They've switched a couple of times. Pitch it back to Jordan Kaycee. Kaycee trying to find some space on the right side is tackled and will not get very much. In fact, may have lost a yard there. First on the play was Hayden Howard defensively for Dubois.
Still 4:19 right now on the clock and counting, but still plenty of time to get a defensive stop here. Don't want to give up any more than one first down if you can here. If your Dubois have not been able to come up with any kind of a stand, nearly did. Fourth down and long forced earlier in the game, but a fake punt from Burlington, which kind of to be expected, but still well executed. So see if you can force a fourth and long here.
I thought Kaycee was stopped behind the line of scrimmage. They'll actually give Jordan a yard there, so adjust that as the pitch to Joe Bassett with a flag coming in. Bassett's got quite a bit of room. He's to midfield and then knocked out of bounds, but we'll see what that flag is all about. It will be a hold on Burlington to negate the Joe Bassett run and back him up.
Huskies helping out here because that was good enough for a first down. May have been because of the hold. A sense of a pretty important first down conversion in this game, even though we're early on in the first half. And especially with that penalty, it's going to be 10 yards from early on in the play, so it will be, I think, all the way back to the 20.
What was most impressive about the referee's job throwing the penalty there is right before the snap, County 10 reporter Randy Tucker was chatting with the official, and he was able to concentrate through that conversation.
Of course he was.
Give Randy a shout-out. He'll have some photos and a recap for you at county10.com later this weekend.
Randy, a trivia master I discovered this week.
Andrew under center has Bassett behind him in the backfield. There's the pitch to Joe. Joe sets his feet, wants to throw. Throw is low, incomplete. Was looking for Jordan Kaycee, but fired it incomplete that time. Joe's third passing attempt. Does have a touchdown pass earlier.
That was second down after the penalty, so this will be third and long. It's 20 plus. Right now it's 23. And two more plays. Two more plays for the Dubois defense. See if you can get off the field with pretty good field position if they can keep Burlington out of moving the sticks.
Still just second quarter, but feels like big moments to try to not let this one get too far away from you. Andrew has pressure by Hess, throws it away. Good coverage by Howard, incomplete, and now it's fourth and very long. And
if you're ever going to punt, this would be it. You're up by 17. Fourth and 22. I'm not sure that Burlington has punted all season, but this situationally feels very smart to punt the ball away. Maybe they have something for this, though.
Good pressure by the Rams.
Last time we saw them convert fourth and long after it looked like Joe Bassett may consider kicking and then was able to throw it to an open receiver. We'll see what they do this time. Bassett is back deep, and will he kick it? He will look like he's going to throw. Now the indecision between am I going to kick or throw. Bassett dances around at the 25-yard line with all day to throw. Wanted Kaycee. It's incomplete, and a good stand by Dubois defensively to force the incompletion there and turn it over on downs.
It's so surreal if you're not used to this six-man game. It really is backyard football. And at any point, I think he theoretically has an option to punt, but it doesn't look like Burlington is going to punt in any situation at all this year. And that is what the Dubois Rams were looking for. That's a forcing a fourth down turnover. And this is why I think you punt there. The Rams have first and 10 from the 20 after that unsuccessful conversion.
2:54 to play in the second quarter. Rams
First and 15, sorry.
Rams could use some points here. That I'm sure I've said first and 10 about 30 times, so understand completely. As Tremblay bounces off of a would-be tackler, he is in the end zone, and it looked like they had Tremblay stopped, didn't wrap him up, and you've got to get Wyatt Tremblay on the ground. A 20-yard touchdown run by Tremblay, one play, and Dubois in the end zone.
I mean, it wasn't a bad hit either. There wasn't a wrap up there, but you knocked him off balance. But every good running back is going to have that amazing balance and has the balance low to the ground, low in his lower body, and that's what you saw there. That was an impressive run.
Kinsler on for the extra 2-point try. There's the snap, the hold, and it is blocked again. Maybe a little bit of a delay there between the snap, hold, exchange, but good job by Burlington, too, to get a hand on it.
And it does. You would like to have the two, obviously, there on the kick, especially at that moment. The flag above us was pretty still. Wasn't going to be a whole lot of wind factor there, but credit to the Huskies for getting in there. Nice special teams play. But most importantly for Dubois, they got that fourth down turnover, and they got the 6 points, bringing it back down to a 29-18, and well within 2 scores now again.
Give us a quick chance to salute our Wyoming Catholic College Student of the Week. Dubois High School freshman Alex Glenn. Alex, according to Dubois staff members, works hard 100% of the time. He's a member of the robotics team, which is impressive, and won an award for Student of the Year as just a freshman earlier this year, I guess. I think that has to do with the robotics team. Doesn't specify in the article given to us. Either way, impressive.
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. After school, Alex would like to serve on a mission, and he is the son of Shelley and Jared Glenn. Congratulations to Alex Glenn, our Wyoming Catholic College Student of the Week here, freshman at Dubois High School. So after the Wyatt Tremblay touchdown, Cooper Kinsler is set to kick it away, presumably with 2:47 here in the second quarter.
Dubois Rams defense now know they can do it. They can force that 4 and out. No first downs with the assistance of a Burlington penalty on the Huskies' last possession.
Jordan Broderlow again back deep to receive for Burlington. Cooper puts one hand in the air, readies his kick coverage crew, and now will boot it away. Broderlow will field it running to his right at about the 13-yard line. Got a full head of steam going there and is knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line, where the Huskies will take over again. Dubois 6-1 on the season, have not lost to a Wyoming opponent so far this year, and you got to go all the way back to week 1 for their only loss to Custer, Montana.
I really like what they are able to do extending the play. When the first look breaks down, the help that some of the unlikely receivers, even downfield, some of the linemen give their quarterback or whoever's throwing from the backfield, I think they buy enough time to open some things up.
Rykel Andrew leads his team under center. Now we'll pitch it back to Michaels. Jordan sets his feet. He's got an open receiver if he could find Kaycee, but he cannot. And that's, I think, the third time in this half that we've seen Jordan Kaycee streaking down the field, maybe on a go route and just wide open, but not able to catch up with him there.
Yeah, everybody's going to be in single coverage, basically, in six-man football. And the wind was gusting enough, 10 miles an hour or so there, where it might have affected a throw like that, too, down the field. But I think there was just miscommunication on which shoulder that ball was coming in on. But that play, you're right, Jared, that play is there for Burlington, and that's one, even with a lead, they have not hit yet.
Andrew under center again. Rykel's thrown it 4 times. Michaels has thrown it 10 times from his running back position, and that might be what we see again here. They're looking for Kaycee again. They're able to convert that time, and Kaycee is gone for the touchdown. Jordan Kaycee from Jordan Michaels. PA announcer says beautiful pass. It was indeed a beautiful pass from their own 28-yard line.
Burlington kind of ran all the receivers into sort of a bunch there in the center of the field, and that's kind of a jumbled mess of a pick play, but it serves the same function, and you just kind of wait as the ball thrower back there to see who's going to pop open out of the pile, so to speak.
Wardell on for the extra point. That time it is good, and with 2:24 to play in the second quarter, score goes Burlington 37, Dubois 18 on that Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard.
So, I mean, it's going to be like this, and you can't live by the normal ebb and flow of 11-man football coaching or playing because the other team's going to get points. They just are. You have to, I think, focus on 4 defensive stands and then answering every single offensive score that Dubois is able to for the remainder of the game. But now they're in this hole late in the second quarter here, 2:34 left to go in the first half. So that makes the impetus a little bit more important on the defense, and it brings the pressure up, the margin smaller for Dubois' offense to make those plays and eliminate penalties and turnovers.
Playoffs are all set for Fremont County teams, including Dubois, who opens at Kaycee next week. We will be there for a 2 o'clock kickoff next Friday afternoon. Also, our congratulations to the Wind River Cougars. They're the number 1 seed out of the 1A 9-man West, and Wind River will open by hosting Lusk next week. Riverton's Wolverines, the number 1 seed out of the 3A East. Riverton opens the playoffs by hosting Evanston next Friday, we think. We still haven't seen the schedule for that one. Cooper Kinsler has some room. Kinsler is all alone, and he is speedy. The 20, the 10, 5. Cooper Kinsler, the kickoff return from about his own 10-yard line. There's that speedster Kinsler with the answer, and points for Dubois at a time when Dubois really needed a boost of energy.
They did. I don't see any flags on the field. Show you the start of this play, which is where Kinsler is able to find that lane in the kick return. And chances are, if you break that first level in with just 6 defenders on the field, you're going to have a pretty good patch of green in front of you. Kinsler finishing the play by finding the end zone, and Dubois finds the scoreboard.
Howard ready from the long snapper position. We'll see Siler Hess, the holder. Actually, Wyatt Tremblay is in there this time as the holder.
That's interesting. Keep an eye on that.
And Cooper Kinsler has it ready to go. Can hear the wind in the microphone. The left edge jumps there. That's Broderloh that came across the line.
This is interesting because I'm not sure they were going to kick that ball. Anytime you have a running back with 40 touchdowns as the holder on the kick, but now, a couple of things. Tremblay needs to move up. He didn't move as the ball went forward a yard. Hopefully that doesn't impact the kick if they do kick it.
Howard snap. Tremblay does get it, and Kinsler can't get it over. That snap behind Tremblay, it looked like, and Wyatt did what he could to put the ball down, but the point after conversion attempts here for Dubois have not had a great afternoon so far. It's 37-24 now, Burlington.
So I'm just going to guess. I think that was going to be a fake. I think they were going to try for the 1 with Tremblay there holding the ball, but then with the half the distance false start, the ball got moved up a yard, and coach may have decided, no, we're going to kick it. And Tremblay, I'm not sure he would have been able to corral that snap anyway, but he didn't move up the corresponding yard. So that's an extra yard that the long snapper has to get the ball back to him. And it may have thrown off the timing of the play there. Either way, I'm not sure. Most important thing for the Rams is they got the 6, and they got it real quick. So you want to start converting those on future scores in the second half one way or the other, at least get the 1 point, but just trying to keep pace with Burlington, who came off the bus here just about at 100%. Looks like they are doing what they want. They were ready to go.
We've got just a couple of clouds in the sky.
Thank goodness.
And there is one very small cloud that made us go
Just
a little bit darker here on your screen.
It's going to alleviate some of my sunburn. Not the whole thing, though.
It is hard to fathom that we are in October in Dubois, Wyoming, and you're talking about getting sunburned.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't think twice of it. It's October in Dubois. What do I need sunscreen for?
37-24, that Burlington advantage on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Low kick by Kinsler will come all the way to Broderloh. Broderloh's had a tough time trying to field some of those kicks on bounces. He'll cut it to the right side and is wrestled down at his own 23. Siler Hess there on the tackle.
See what the Rams defense can come up with here after yet another pretty good kick cover effort. Good pursuit, good wrap up, good tackle. That was a nice punch at the ball by the tackler too. I thought maybe the ball might pop free at the end of the kick return. But the Rams have proven to themselves they can put Burlington in situations where they can turn the ball over. As my cloud is gone, sun is back.
Need to find sunscreen quick before we get into the second half here. Intercepted. Siler Hess is there to take it away for the Dubois Rams. And here's a big surge of momentum and a little change in the direction of this game after Kinsler's return. And now Siler Hess sets his team up in great field position.
Hess on the Gambles replay is going to undercut this route. This is just great recognition, knowing where his guy is, knowing where the ball is, and sees the throw is a little bit high, wasn't on a line, so he says, heck with it, I'll try, and he undercut the route. Big turnover for the Rams.
It'll be Xander Hawkins under center. Siler will go out to the right side on the line. They're going to pitch it back to Jonah Ord. Ord got a nice block from Tremblay. Ord is inside of the 20-yard line, knocked out of bounds at the 17.
Giving him a lot of pressure, push him out.
Yeah, Rams have something going here. Momentum, I think, is the word for it. It's kind of difficult to quantify in six-man with so many points and how one play can change. 14-plus points on the scoreboard, but Dubois does seem like they're on the right side of the field tilt here. And they do seem to have some momentum. Definitely want to end this drive with a touchdown. Need those points.
2nd and 5 after Jonah picks up 10. Xander again under center, 2 in the backfield for the Rams. Pitch it this time to Jonah again. Use a nice block. Jonah slips a tackle. He is in from 17 yards out. The pitch to Jonah Ord, and the senior is in the end zone.
It's a nice strong run here to the left side. It's not like he wasn't contacted. He's having to make a couple of white jerseys miss there.
Really nice job.
And just kept his feet going all the way into the end zone. Gets Dubois a little bit closer. That's the way to convert off the interception.
Extra points have been an adventure so far. Tremblay again is going to do the holding, and Cooper Kinsler will show that he's ready to kick. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. There's a much better snap and hold. The kick is through the uprights and good. I don't know if Cooper has had an opportunity to really get a good foot on a lot of these extra points. He did that time, and it is now the Burlington Huskies 37, the Dubois Rams 32, 146 to play in the second quarter. So 2 quick strikes by Dubois. Cooper Kinsler had a return for a touchdown at the 2:12 mark. An interception by Siler Hess. Couple plays later, Jonah Ord had a couple of nice runs, and Jonah from 17 yards out will punch it in, bringing this to a 5-point game here, a minute 46 before halftime.
4.5 minutes on the clock. Burlington was up by 17. 1:46 left here in the first half, and Dubois is obviously on the scoreboard that you can see on the YouTube stream. They're well within the one score regardless of conversion. So that's how quickly momentum can shift and a game can change. Just one play here, one big offensive play there, and we have a brand new game again.
Welcome all of you watching our YouTube stream and County 10's Facebook. If you are checking in from around Wyoming or beyond, leave us a comment. We'd be happy to interact, give you shout-outs, let us know where you're tuned in from. Got a bunch of Fremont County football fans, I'm sure, glued to this one as they're supporting Dubois. It is cool to see how the communities of Fremont County come together. That goes over Broderloh's head, and Kinsler kicks a touchback. But what I love is how we can have these kind of rivalries on the field throughout the season, and then when it gets to the postseason, everybody in Fremont County roots for all of our Fremont County representatives. So Wind River, Riverton, and Dubois will all qualify for the football playoffs.
Yeah, it was cool to see on social media last night after the game. I saw some Lander love for the Riverton Wolverines for what they accomplished in winning the 3A East
pitch it back to Michaels, who tries to follow a blocker on the right side, and he'll pick up about 5 on first down out to the 20-yard line. It is cool, and then you see the Shoshone crowd getting involved with their rivals Wind River and rooting for everybody at the end of the season. After the gain of 5, second down and 10 coming up. Clock stops on Michaels going out of bounds. Michaels will take it to the other side, and number 11 tackled by the other number 11, Siler Hess. Will wrestle him to the turf after a pickup of 3 or 4, and it'll bring up about a 3rd and 6. Boy, it would be big if Dubois could shut it down here on the next couple of plays and get off the field defensively again.
Burlington's going to go for it, I would imagine, but yeah, 3rd down and 6.
Pitch to Michaels, go back to the right side, does a great job using that lead blocker, and he is right at the line to gain.
Doesn't really matter. This is a go-for-it situation, but if you're able to blow a plow, they're going to give him a first down. By the nose of the football. It'll be fun to see the 15-yard sticks go out and measure one, Jared, but we're not going to get that on that play. I don't know why that would be fun. That actually doesn't sound very fun at all. It's fun for me.
In Casper, they had the traditional 10-yard marker, and then they estimated the additional 5 with the down marker.
Seems to defeat the purpose.
Don't know how official that was every single time in tracking an extra 5 yards, but we made do with what we had, and a procedure penalty getting back Burlington up this time.
The last time the Huskies were stopped on 4 downs, it was that penalty. It was a holding penalty on the first drive, and then it's a free 5-yard penalty here, but where Dubois has been able to stop Burlington so far and really cause them offensive problems, it started with Burlington shooting themselves in the foot with a holding call, or in that case, a false start penalty before the snap.
Jordan Michaels is 5 of 6, or actually 6 of 11, I beg your pardon, 6 of 11 throwing the football. He's ran the football 9 times for 45 yards. He's in the backfield. Will take the pitch. Now he's going to dance around, look for somebody while Jonah Ord applies some pressure. And ultimately going to turn it into a gain of about 10 on the run. Timeout asked for by Coach Agard with 21 seconds to play in the second quarter. Burlington's still got about 41 yards to go before they find the end zone, but in 6-man football, that can happen fast, but a wise timeout with just 21 seconds.
From snap to snap in 6-man, the plays, especially passing plays, can take a lot longer, and that factors in these situations. End to half with just 21 seconds left to go, you might look at that in an 11-man situation and say, well, you got 6 seconds per short pass play if you get out of bounds. If you got a pass thrower here in 6-man running around for 10 seconds, that will make that a 10 to 15 second play at least. So that's got to factor in with 21 seconds left in the first half.
Mentioned the big story here in this one is very likely the last time for a home game for a head coach of the Dubois Rams, David Tremblay, who's been an instrumental part of Wyoming high school football for the last 26 years. 21 seconds to play out of the timeout. They'll give it back to Michaels, who wants to throw again. Michaels looking over the middle, well covered. His intended receiver fell down too, so that didn't help the throwing chance. But with 14 seconds now, it'll be 3rd down.
Well, 2 plays left. Let's see with the 14.3, as Jared indicated. 2 plays, potentially you can get the turnover. Don't think you're looking for points here unless you can get something defensively for Dubois. But keeping those points off the scoreboard and keeping this a 1-score game at halftime, I think, would be a win for the Rams.
Still very likely a couple more tries for Burlington. They've got it right at midfield. Andrew will pitch back to Michaels. Michaels stands at the 30-yard line. Now try to show off his arm strength. He's got Kaycee, who makes a great adjustment. Jordan Kaycee again wide open for another touchdown, and that is the second time we've seen it work, but Jordan Kaycee just has a knack for finding himself wide open.
I think you're going to see the coverage you wanted from Dubois, but the defender slipped on that last break, and it was the separation that the receiver needed. Not quite a backbreaker, that would be an exaggeration, but that's definitely a score that Dubois wanted to keep out of the end zone before halftime.
Just 4 seconds to play before halftime. Extra point is through the uprights and good. So with 4 seconds to play in the second quarter, now score goes Burlington 45, Dubois 32.
4.8. Not much you can do with that after a return offensively, but we have seen one kickoff return for a touchdown by the Rams so far in this game, and rather than worry about a set play, I think you might get a little bit creative and maybe draw something up here on the kick return. And the counter to that chess match is, if you're Burlington, do you kick it deep at all? Maybe do an onside kick, or at least a squib kick.
The Huskies will get ready for the kick. And we'll get our Rams back out on the field.
Dubois fans hoping for another Cooper Kinsler return to the end zone here right before halftime. 4.8 officially on the scoreboard, and again now a 13-point Burlington lead.
If they do kick it to Kinsler and he catches it in the air, you might be onto something here. I'm not sure I'd kick it to him.
Wardell has it teed up for the Huskies. Whistle blows, approaches the football, and there you go, Scott. A onside kick that they're actually going to get. Is that Bassett on it? Joe Bassett was right there. Dubois did not necessarily look prepared or overly aggressive to try to cover that onside kick.
Obviously, they can cover that. They don't have to wait the 10 yards. Saw a couple of blue jerseys kind of waiting for it to get to the 40, and you don't have to do that. So because it was an onside and because it was only a couple of ticks of tenths of seconds off of the scoreboard, and because of how wild this six-man game can be, this is probably just one play, pending a defensive penalty, but this is one play for Burlington. And it's not like 11-man, where the Hail Mary odds are not real good. Can get something interesting happening here.
I'm far from a football expert, but I would put somebody on Jordan Kaycee. Pitch to Michaels again. Michaels has already showcased some arm strength. He's got Siler Hess right in his face this time, though, and he will slip down. Siler Hess all over him, so won't get the throwaway. Ultimately will lose a few yards there. Siler with great defensive coverage, and at the intermission, it is the Burlington Huskies 45, Dubois Rams 32. We've seen a lot of points here in the first half, an interesting back and forth, but ultimately Burlington holds a 2-score advantage into the locker rooms on, again, just a beautiful day at Dubois High School.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a six-man game that's obviously even more wide open than the 8-man game I played in high school or any 9-man game that you see. It would be so much fun to just design plays with a couple of athletes at the 6-man level, and it's interesting to kind of feel the flow of the game too, Jared, where Dubois was down 17 points in the first half. What football team is traditionally able to come back from that? Doesn't look good, and all of a sudden, 2 minutes on the clock later, the Rams have it within 5 points. And then Burlington able to add that score at the end that you just saw before halftime. But it just goes to show how quickly momentum can change and how quickly each of these offenses can strike. What I also like about, kind of counterintuitive, but I like that your defense can be so important in that all they need is a couple of stops, 4 or 5 stops, and can be the difference in the game. So Dubois has to make up some ground here in the second half. Need a couple of stops of that Burlington offense that's always going to go for it on fourth down no matter what, as we saw in the first half. And we'll see what happens coming up here in the second half of senior day at Dubois High School.
We will enter the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show in just a moment, give you some first half numbers, run down some of the scoring plays again, and set up the rest of the Fremont County Sports Weekend. We'll let you know what another one of these Dubois teams is up to, and get you ready for the second half of this wild 6-man football contest. At the half on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, it is the Burlington Huskies 45, the Dubois Rams 32. We're back after this with the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show on the County 10 Sports Network.
sales event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come back by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the open road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
Did you see Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
If you're looking for an upgrade to your vehicle, Wyoming 4x4 is the place to go for all your upgrade needs. From lift kits to bumpers, grill guards to bed liners, we've got everything you need to take your ride to the next level. We use top brands for our bumpers like Fab 4s, Ranch Hand, and Road and more. So get your vehicle ready and stop at Wyoming 4x4 or give Dan a call at 307-857-3175.
Wyoming Catholic College is a unique institution that offers an immersion in the Western tradition, the beauty and challenges of the wilderness, and the treasures of the Catholic spiritual heritage. Our mission is to provide a unique educational experience that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit. We are proud of our alumni success stories and the learning opportunities we offer through our academic outreach programs. Come and explore our campus in Lander, Wyoming.
Make your home improvement projects a breeze with Sutherland's, your home improvement experts. Always the right products at the right price. For every project, every day. You can shop and pay online at Sutherlands.com, and we'll get it ready for easy in-store pickup. With the tools and the know-how, you can count on Sutherlands for any job. With over 30,000 items in stock, make your first stop at Sutherland's Home Improvement in Casper and Riverton.
County 10 is your Fremont County news leader. We're everywhere. On the web, mobile, social, and on your radio dial, with all the news you need to feel connected. From sports to board meetings and community features, we work hard to bring you all the latest updates you care about. Visit us today at county10.com. County 10, community connected.
This guy was...
Welcome you into the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show, made possible by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. They remind you to wear your seatbelt every time you get behind the wheel in Wyoming, no matter how short or far your drive is. Seatbelts save lives. Always buckle up for life, Wyoming. That message from the Wyoming Department of Transportation. We're at the midway point here of six-man football on a sunny Saturday. It's the Dubois Rams trailing the Burlington Huskies 45-32 here at the intermission. And wild first half of football. We saw a lot of scoring, and it's setting up a really interesting second half.
It is. It's been thoroughly entertaining, as you see both offenses more or less. I think Burlington a little bit more efficient in what they want to do, and I think more so because when they extend the play, they've been able to pop out receivers and find stuff downfield a little bit more successfully than Dubois does. But the Rams, also with a senior running back, really want to start on the ground there too. So it's going to be interesting to see how Dubois strikes that balance when they have to come back. But they've already proven, even just in the first half, the Rams have that they can do it. Down 17 at one point with 4.5 to go and 2 minutes on the clock later. They've got things to within 5, which is the magic and the fun of six-man football. So looking forward to the second half. I think it's going to, assuming Dubois can get their offense going a little, even bit better than it is right now, more efficiently down the field, I think you're going to see a couple of special plays, maybe a kickoff return, something along those lines that we saw in the first half as well. And then who's going to turn the ball over and which defense is going to force a fourth down and come up with a couple of turnovers on down here. I think that might decide the second half.
Try to recap some of the scoring involved in this one here. There's a whole lot to recap, so I'll go quick. There were 4 scores in the first quarter. Burlington and Dubois basically traded points at the 6:18 mark. Joe Bassett had a 36-yard catch for the first point of the game, making it 7-0. Dubois answered quickly at the 3:58 mark. It was Hawkins to Hayden Howard for a 22-yard catch. Extra point no good. It was 7-6 at that point. With 50 seconds to play in the first quarter, Burlington scored on a Hunter Agard catch from 15 yards out. 2-point conversion good there, 15-6, but only briefly because with 14 seconds left in the first quarter, Wyatt Tremblay had his 41st rushing touchdown of the season from 28 yards out. Kick was also no good there. At the end of one, it was 15-12 in favor of Burlington. A lot of second quarter points too. Burlington scored first at the 6:46 mark. Bassett to Gottfredson from 27 yards out. Kick was no good there. Score went 23-12. Then about a minute later, Burlington scored again after a turnover with 5:32 to play in the second quarter. Bassett had a 1-yard run. Kick no good. It was 29-12 at that point. Dubois found the end zone at the 2:47 mark of the second quarter. Wyatt Tremblay's 20-yard run, making it 29-18. Burlington scored again just seconds later at the 2:24 mark of the second quarter on a Jordan Kaycee 58-yard catch. Kick was good at 37-18 at that point. Dubois found back-to-back touchdowns, though, with 2:12 remaining in the quarter. Cooper Kinsler had a 70-yard touchdown run on a kick return, making it 37-24. And then with 1:46 to play after a Siler Hess interception was Jonah Ord from 17 yards out, pulling Dubois to within 5 at 37-32. Unfortunately for the Rams, Burlington scored late in the half with 4 seconds remaining. 41-yard pass to Jordan Kaycee. That extra point was good, giving Burlington 2 more points, making it the score we have now at 45-32. No wonder I feel tired. There were a lot of points there in the
4 games worth of scoring.
The last portion of the second quarter.
Yeah. That last score by Burlington, one you obviously want to keep off the scoreboard. Felt like later in the second quarter, Dubois had some momentum with a pick, and then they had the long kickoff return for a touchdown. Started to feel like the field was tilting their way a little bit, but Burlington was able to find it through the passing game late. Had the onside kick at the very end of the first half that was successfully converted by Burlington, and then they were unable to find anything on that last Hail Mary play, so to speak, with a nice defensive play in the backfield. But that's sort of where things stand right now. The scoreboard has under a minute to go. You have Burlington huddling in one end zone. Dubois, being the home team, has some area somewhere at the old high school where they can talk things up in halftime, but we're just about getting set here shortly for the second half.
Yeah, I want to say they may put a few more minutes back on that clock with Dubois yet to emerge back out on the field. I do want to pass this along, too, with some Fremont County interest, a bit of breaking news courtesy of county10.com, and heads up for Fremont County motorists. Doesn't necessarily affect the Dubois area as much, but for folks that may be in the Lander area watching, there is a rollover crash up Sinks Canyon on Highway 131. That's near the CWC field station in Sinks Canyon, and we're being told to expect a road blockage and some delays there. It does sound like a pretty serious situation, so county10.com will be all over that. But for anybody who may be thinking about headed toward that Sinks Canyon area, do expect some delays.
And it sounds like maybe for a bit, maybe for a while. But again, we'll keep you up to date. Best place to look there is on social media, on the Facebook page for County 10, and of course county10.com.
Senior day at Dubois High School with the Rams coming back out here, and a standing ovation from the good crowd on hand at DHS.
Huskies have to feel pretty good about where they're at. I'm not sure the Rams have a whole lot of reason to be too frustrated either, despite what the scoreboard says. It's kind of made a bit worse than it needed to be at the end of the half there with the Burlington score, but Dubois still in a fine spot to come back. I think it's just like any other game with any kind of differential. It makes your margin a little bit thinner. Don't want to commit too many penalties. Dubois has been pretty good about that in the first half. If anything, Burlington has shot themselves in the foot with holding calls and false starts here and there. Rams have had a couple as well. But just means that somebody on the team has to step up and make a couple of plays here in the second half, and the Rams can be right back even with this Huskies team. This is more or less, I think, a couple of mistakes here and there, Jared, but when you're looking for a 3-4 matchup, this has been more or less what you would expect.
Yeah, definitely, and it's interesting, too, because I don't want to downplay the significance of this game and an interesting second half we have. Certainly, these teams are trying very hard, but standings-wise, this game means nothing. We've got the playoffs set next week, and you want to go into the playoffs healthy and feeling good about yourself, but also a win carries over some momentum into those playoffs, so interesting to see how both of these teams strategize down the stretch.
Yeah, if it does get a little lopsided one way or the other, it would not make sense to leave your upperclassmen in, even here on senior day, if it happens to be the Rams who pull out in front, because this is not a significant game in terms of the result. But it's a... I lost my train of thought there, Jared.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry about that. We're welcoming our YouTube viewing audience.
We're talking about how you use the second half of this game to prepare for the playoffs next week. And, it's a factor, but it depends on the scoreboard, because if this game's even, neither of these teams are really that deep. It's a reality trying to fight away injuries all year for teams that only have 15 guys on the roster. So I'm not sure how much you want to preserve. And once you get your pads on and get all stretched out and you've gotten into the mental focus of the game, you don't want to come off the field, and it doesn't matter what you're playing for or not playing for. And I know the coaches feel exactly the same way. So you don't want to be reckless with your personnel in a relatively meaningless game the week before the playoffs, but some guys you have to kind of strap to the bench to keep off the field too. So hopefully neither team sees any injury. That's the last thing you want to see before the playoffs. But I fully expect a competitive second half.
Yeah, it is interesting. We talk about attrition even in 11-man football this time of year and making sure guys are healthy. When you look at a Wyatt Tremblay that takes so many carries and so many hits, I want him as fresh as possible for the playoffs. But Dubois would love, I think, to get back at this Burlington team that ended their season last year in the semifinals, knocked them out. Burlington ultimately lost the state championship last year to Little Snake River at a game that I think was a little more competitive than most people thought it would be. Little Snake River has proven to be just a force in six-man football and will be one of the favorites again this year. This Burlington team trying to make some noise in six-man football too is also one of the favorites in that next tier behind Little Snake River. Dubois is going to have to go on the road in the first round, but would love to turn some heads and pull a couple of upsets in the playoffs. We are all ready to go in the second half. Again, 45-32, the Burlington lead. We will start with another onside kick that is going to be touched, I think, before it went 10 yards, and here comes the flag. So Dubois will start with the first possession. Third time of the ball game we've seen Burlington try that onside kick.
Even though you give up field position, I like it just because of how Dubois played that onside kick at the end of the first half, and they kind of waited for it to go the full 10 yards. It's a sneaky play, but I like it. It just doesn't work by a yard for the Huskies. It was touched just before it went the requisite 40, or to the requisite 10 yards to the 40-yard line, so it will be good field position. It's a trade-off you make in that gamble. Good field position for the first drive of the second half of the Rams.
Siler Hess will lead the Dubois offense, perhaps. We've also seen Xander Hawkins at quarterback quite a bit, and I think it is going to be Hawkins to start at will as Siler is on the right line. Caleb Klein, the center. Jonah Ord, Wyatt Tremblay in the backfield. They'll pitch it to Wyatt, who bounces off a one would-be tackler. Another tackler had him around the ankles, and he just kept kind of hopping forward and will fall forward for a couple more yards. Wyatt finds a gain of about 7 on first down.
That's the kind of run I don't want to see from Wyatt Tremblay, where your base is stuck and your upper body is continuing to move forward. That's where you can get rolled up on pretty easily by the defender, so yeah, you want to stay on the field, but as a running back, you should be aware of that too. Run smart.
Hawkins again under center for the Dubois Rams, and a lot of motion there. We'll see which way they go. Had guys on both sides out of their stances.
It was 63 white that moved just a little early, but when it's that close, they're going to throw the flag on the offense every time.
Going to say Siler Hess
5 yards.
gets the penalty first there.
Game we had on the first play. The 2nd and 15.
Several Burlington fans hanging out on the near sideline as well, making the long trip over to Dubois. Pitch it to Jonah Ord. Ord had a couple of nice carries to close the second quarter, and now Jonah will find about 7, bringing up a 3rd and medium.
I really like him downhill. He may not be as complete a running back as Dubois has. Tough to argue with Tremble, but that's when he gets going downhill, he's moving pretty good, low to the ground, can be difficult to bring down, like his speed and his quickness too.
3rd down play, Tremblay and Ord in the backfield. They'll pitch it to Wyatt this time, who's shoved out of bounds quickly. Only picked up maybe 3 there. I'd expect Dubois to keep the offense on the field, though, here with 4th and 5.
Look at that 3rd down run by Tremblay. Yeah, he's more your prototypical do-it-all kind of back. He's got good size, built like a running back, great balance running side to side, and he's able to plant a foot and also unafraid of contact, keeps those feet going when he's contacted. But this is a pretty important 4th down here in the first part of the second half.
Xander Hawkins under center again. Tremblay and Ord in the backfield, fake the handoff. Hawkins rolling to his right, now back to his left, tried to find Taylor, and the pass intended for Hayden goes incomplete, and it'll be a turnover on downs right back to Burlington. So not the start you wanted in the 3rd quarter for Dubois.
No, I want to go 4 now. Burlington doing one thing better than the Rams here in this game. It's extending those plays on pass attempts. Burlington very patient, kind of bouncing around, waiting for something to pop open, and it was kind of a 1st, 2nd, and then bailout read there by the Rams on 4th down.
It is Andrew to start the game at quarterback, or to start the half at quarterback, I should say. He'll pitch backwards to Michaels. Michaels, using a block off the right side, will power forward for 6 or 7 on 1st down.
Burlington obviously looking for the end zone here. That would give them a more comfortable cushion, especially with the Rams receiving that second half kickoff. But an opportunity for the Blue offense or defense to step up and make a play here. We saw it in the first half. For a moment there in the game, the whole momentum of the game changed with an interception in the flat by Dubois.
2nd down and 9 for the Huskies. Pitch it backwards. Michaels looks like he's just going to run with it this time. Siler Hess is there to pull him backwards after Jordan gains 2 or 3. It'll bring up 3rd down at about 7.
Pretty patient scheme so far for the Huskies. They're going to go quick here on 3rd down.
For the Huskies, it's going to be 3rd and
fake the pitch to Michaels this time, and they'll give it to Joe Bassett, who has 3, and it's going to be 4th down and about 3.
Came back with a trap on 3rd down that almost worked. Dubois able to read it well enough and get on the ball quick enough. 4th down, not very long for the Huskies, but it's kind of an interesting yardage. Do you throw or pass?
Andrew under center will pitch it to Michaels. Michaels is gathered in right at about the sticks. And
real close.
We may get your measurement just for fun,
Scott. Bring those 15-yard markers out there and give me an old-fashioned measurement.
Wyatt Tremblay was there on the tackle. I think they're going to say he's short.
We're going to call it and say Dubois football on the turnover on downs. Man, that's... it looked close to me. Definitely close enough for a measurement. I'm not just wanting the 15-yard measurement. Where they're putting the ball... Yeah, I mean, it would be short based on where they're putting the ball. The 1st down marker was right at the 35, so the Rams aren't going to argue. They get a do-over here to start the second half.
Dubois takes over at their own 36, 6:50 to play 3rd quarter. Rams trailing by 13, 45-32. Hand it back to Tremblay. Tremblay bounce it out to the right side, makes another man miss, and now he's real close to the line to gain. Knocked out of bounds at the Burlington 30-yard line, bring up a 2nd down and short.
The Gambles replay may have seen a hold on the right side of the line just a little bit that Dubois got away with. That could have gone either way. I've seen that called, but seen that not called. Does result in a nice pickup of nearly the full 15. Can be second down and a short one for the Rams. You and I think, are of the same mind here, Jared, of liking a shot play in this situation, but we'll see what the Rams do on 2nd and 1.
Hess in the gun. Ward with him in the backfield. 2 receivers to either side. We'll hand it back to Jonah, and Jonah will get the first down. Looking for more yardage. Is down to the 20-yard line. Is met by 3 or 4 Huskies. Tries to push the pile forward. Gets to about the 17-yard line. First down from Jonah Ord.
He's pretty powerful when he gets going. Probably going 20 total yards there, running side to side. But got way more than he needed on 2nd down and 1. And this momentum in 6-man takes a lot of getting used to. Just when you think Burlington's just about ready to stomp on Dubois, the Rams get a 4 and out, and all of a sudden the field's tilting a little bit, and the Rams are knocking on the door.
Jonah 50 yards on 6 carries. Dubois spread out a little bit more again here with Hess in the shotgun. Receiver to either side. Seiler wants to throw this time, looking for Ord. Kind of in the flat, incomplete. Wouldn't have gone for much anyway.
A couple of fans wanting a pass interference maybe there in the flat, but I think I like the no call. Might have had a hand on his back, but didn't really inhibit the receiver's route. Receiver had a chance at the ball. Defender made a nice play over the top. Officials basically letting him play minus a couple of holdings, and we've seen quite a few procedure penalties too.
Feels weird to have gotten almost 5 minutes here without a score in this game, as nobody scored yet in the half. Both teams have had a turnover on downs. Snap was directly to Tremblay, who hands back to Hess this time. Hess could run with it, but is met by a defender and throws it incomplete. Don't know if there was really anybody around there, but goes incomplete, and a injured Burlington Husky is going to limp off the field. That's Mickey Maroney, who is going to be attended to by his coaching staff. Hopefully he's okay.
I think he took that Tremblay block, and he may have planted oddly as a result of that. Speculation, but he does look to be favoring one of the ankles or something in the lower body there. Tremblay, a nice job for Dubois keeping that play alive. It was pretty well pursued by Burlington. It brings up second down or screen here.
Second down and 15, I believe. Now the scoreboard says 3rd down. Snap it to Hess. Hess hands back to Tremblay. Tremblay try the left side, is going to be gang tackled real quick, and that will indeed be 4th down. I can see that for sure now after Tremblay picks up maybe 1. Not much doing there, and it is 4th and very long, 4th and about 14.
Give the Huskies credit for side-to-side pursuit. They've done a pretty good job on Tremblay all day. He's going to get his yards and his touchdowns, 40 coming into the game today. But it is 4th and the full 15 for the Rams here.
Dubois will come out in the shotgun. Hess claps his hands back to Tremblay. Tremblay looking to throw, gonna air it out to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Hayden Howard with the reception, and a touchdown pass on senior night from the senior running back, Wyatt Tremblay.
This play didn't look like it was going places. But this is a nice job in the end zone, adjusting and waiting for the ball, establishing with your body position where you want to be before the ball arrives, kind of screening out your defender there. That was nicely done, and it wasn't pretty, but it ends well for the Rams.
Cooper Kinsler on for the extra point. Out of the hold from Tremblay. Tremblay does a nice job gathering it in, and Kinsler does a nice job kicking it through the uprights. Dubois back to within 5 with 4:33 to play 3rd quarter. It's Burlington 45, Dubois 40.
You gotta stop here, and you got a chance to take the lead. That's how up and down and kind of wild this game has been. Teams scoring less on average, if you can believe that, than they both did coming into this game. Point you made, Jared, on that last drive of how long it had taken before any score makes these next 2 possessions, one for each team, assuming it goes that way, very important. Taking that much time off the clock here in the third quarter. Fourth quarter sneaks up on you pretty quickly, and you don't want to be in a 3-score hole at that point. But both teams just about where they wanted to be. Certainly Dubois is after the half.
Frantically looking up YOPreps.com stats to see if Wyatt Tremblay's thrown the football this season. He's 2 of 4 passing coming into this one, and did throw a 44-yard pass earlier this season, but that is his first passing touchdown on the season. So Wyatt Tremblay getting it done through the air that time.
Interesting to keep in mind for next week, maybe in the first round of the playoffs for Dubois, if you can get him throwing touchdowns. I don't know what you do to scheme against that.
Also, Hayden Howard's second touchdown reception of the game. Kinsler has it teed up again. Ready to boot it away for the Rams. Jordan Brodelo is back deep for the Burlington Huskies. Cooper will put the leg to it. On a bounce again to Brodelo. He did a great job of handling it that time. We've seen it slip out of his grasp a few times. Has a lot of Dubois Rams in his grill, though, and he's not going to get to the 15, maybe with forward progress. Second effort, he may get to the 16. He just had to prove me wrong, I guess, but still a good job on kick coverage.
It always makes me nervous on any play when a ball carrier has 4 guys on top of him. So hang on to the ball. You just wait for the ball to come out at any moment. Yeah, a lot of coaches teach that. If someone's got an offensive player wrapped up, next guy in, go after the ball. That might have been a huge turnover opportunity there for the Rams.
Andrew take the snap, give it back to Michaels. Michaels went left first, cut back to the right, and is going to run over one defender all the way down to the 30-yard line. He'll pick up 13, maybe 14 on first down.
I really like, as I've said several times, I like what Burlington does to extend the play out when their first design hasn't worked out, whether it's a run or the pass. They use the whole field, multiple guys to be productive.
Here's Andrews again with Tremblay behind him. Finds a man for a first down. It's complete again. That's Hunter Agard.
That's a good example of it here on the Campbell's replay. First design of the play is well broken up, but you just kind of extend the play and play backyard football and wait for someone to get open.
Bassett now out of the shotgun, gives it back to Michaels. Michaels looking for Kaycee. It's complete at the 30-yard line. Kaycee, with a flag coming in, is going to be tackled at the 25-yard line. Not used to seeing Jordan Kaycee make a catch and not going all the way to the end zone there.
Made a really nice job on the catch, making a defender miss right when he hit the ground. But the timing of that flag, I didn't see what it might have been, but a hold or a block in the back, and it's one or the other.
It will be on Burlington.
It's not going to be too expensive from the end of the play for the Huskies, as it came at the end of the play.
PA announcer said a hold. I thought it looked like a block in the back, but it is really hard to tell on the far side of the field which one of those hand signals we saw from the white hat official.
It's really interesting what they're marching off to. Oh, that's where the ball is actually placed on the field. Makes more sense toward the end of the play. So will be first down and just shy of 10.
Man in motion for Burlington. Pitch back to Michaels again. Michaels has Tremblay in his grill, and he's just going to throw it to nobody out there. Incomplete on the Jordan Michaels pass.
When you're trying to throw the ball down the field, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you would like the defender in front of you to actually commit and pursue you so that you can decide one way or the other where you're going to go and try and get yourself free. But when they're kind of just hanging out like a basketball guard right in front of you, you're not sure what they're going to do the whole play.
Air it out to Bassett, who has a first down this time. Good job by Jordan Michaels to find Joe Bassett for the first down.
This is one time when the first design of the play is going to work for the Huskies. See it unfold here on the Campbell's replay. The pitch And the quarterback or the pitch man is just going to release a little bit. Nice, simple, but effective play.
There's Michaels again. Finds Agard for Agard's third reception. Knocked out of bounds inside of the 15-yard line. And Burlington on the move here quickly.
Yeah, now the Huskies are feeling their momentum a little bit. And this offense tends to do pretty well when they're doing what they're doing right now, which is no huddle. That was a false start.
Michaels has a man wide open. Agard can't quite haul it in. Might have been a shade behind him on the throw, but incomplete pass there from Jordan for Hunter Agard.
That's a break for Dubois because that play worked pretty well and had that wide open in the end zone. It's all right, Jared.
Michaels. Incomplete.
Interesting now. We have 4th down and goal. Oh, wait a minute. No, shorter than I thought. I'm looking at the wrong stick. Be 4th down and 5, but still a 4th down, and you're in that. Do you run? Do you pass? It's going to be most effective. I think given where the ball is on the field and that you have a 5-point advantage on the scoreboard, you can be a little bit more creative in knowing that if you don't make it, the Rams have to go all the way down the field to score. Still obviously want to get in the end zone if you're Burlington.
Big play coming up on 4th down. Still 2:47 to play, third quarter. Andrew under center. Will pitch it back to Bassett. Bassett slips 2 tackles. He's off to the races, dives toward the end zone, and he is in. Joe Bassett with not only a big first down, but a big touchdown for Burlington here with 2:40 to play in the third quarter.
Well, Dubois had this play contained. 2 blue jerseys who have a shot at the ball carrier here. And it's just a good individual effort to find the lane, get downhill quick enough, elude the defenders, and find the end zone.
Wardell's extra point looks offline, and it's off to the left, no good.
51-40 then on the scoreboard, 11 points. Those analytics in the modern day of football, those sheets that coaches have that say if you're down this, go for 2, if you're down this, kick the field goal, that sheet must be several pages long in 6-minute football. There's so many point differentials and scenarios and considerations that go into that, but we're not even close to that yet. 2:40 still here in the third quarter. Dubois just back to basics, finding the end zone and moving the ball here a little bit.
I want to thank our good friends at Life Key in Dubois for having us up here again. The big sponsor of these games, Life Key, making it possible for us to give you some Dubois coverage along the County 10 network, and that will include next week too as a trip to Kaycee in order for Dubois in the playoffs.
Watch your onside kick here. Burlington, not sure they would try it again, but the times it hasn't been successful have been really close. And you see how far back those 3 up men are for the Rams. A couple of them moving in now toward the 40-yard line.
Wardell has it on the tee at the 30-yard line. Official blows the whistle, and here we go with the kick. You called it, Scott. Onside kick attempt. It's touched by Dubois, and they do fall on it. I think a little bit lucky there. It almost looked like disaster where they were going to touch it and then not be able to fall on it, but I think it was Tremblay that ultimately got there.
Yeah, that's where the trouble comes, is where you're in position to make a play and something goes wrong and it bounces off you. And all bets are off. Yeah, the Rams very fortunate to get it back, but again, the trade-off there is good field position for Dubois, so they'll start 1st and 10 from the 40, just a bit over the 40, down 11.
Huskies lead is 51-40 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, 2:39 to play. Third quarter action, Siler Hess out of the gun, receiver to either side. He's got Tremblay in the backfield. He'll hand it to Wyatt. Wyatt running with his heads up. Will go across the 30, across the 20, and now he's free. Wyatt Tremblay all the way to the end zone. One play after the onside kick, 40 yards. Wyatt Tremblay to the end zone.
Not going to count. That's going to come back. You're going to see a hold. I don't see the flag, but you're going to see the hold on the Gambles replay. This is a takedown on the interior defensive line. Yeah, it's a hold from up here. Oh, now I do. Flags at the 35.
Okay, I'm glad you spotted it. I've got an offensive lineman screening me there, but
Well, that'll be a hold against the Rams.
apologies for missing that one. It'll come back, negating a great Wyatt Tremblay run.
That's exactly what the Rams needed, too.
We got to figure out how to take
But
those points off the
give
board.
credit to the officials here in this game. They've let him play, but you got to call that. That's just grabbing a guy by the jersey and yanking him down to the ground.
So we'll march backward after the good field position. Ball will be spotted at the 35 now.
So it's 2:29.
It'd be great if Wyatt just wanted to do that again from 5 yards further out for Dubois fans.
I don't mind it. Just do it to the other side. Same play, other side.
Gleim will put his hand on the football, ready to shotgun snap it to Hess. Hess, the other side to Wyatt Tremblay. Hess, lead blocker, and Wyatt only going to get to the 40 this time, pick up 5 yards on first down.
Much better pursuit there by Burlington to the far side of the field that time. Still a productive run for Dubois. Brings it back to 2nd and 15. So after all that, ups and downs, basically results in a first down, lost down. 2nd down and right exactly where the ball was when we started this drive.
Tremblay averages 231 rushing yards per game. He's at 176 right now on 16 carries.
That would have helped pad the stat sheet in that last run that was called back.
Gun formation again, receiver to either side for Dubois. High snap, handled nice by Seiler. Give it to Jonah Ord. Ord's not going to have a lot of running room. Wyatt Tremblay upset about something.
Didn't see what. Maybe missed assignment by somebody on the offensive side. That was great backside pursuit there. You saw a white jersey just flying in. Almost made the play in the backfield from the far side of the field. Dubois has had just a couple too many of these situations. 3rd down and this long. Ends up being like a 4th and 8, something like that. Hasn't been a whole lot, but they've slid just enough in their offensive possessions at midfield where they're not in fortuitous down and distance situations.
Inside of a minute to play in the quarter. Xander Hawkins now under center. 2 in the backfield for the Rams. A reverse handoff. Tremblay's going to come away with it. Wyatt juked a couple of guys down to the 31-yard line, and it'll set up a more manageable 4th down now.
I really like that play call, and I think you're counting there, if you're Coach Tremblay, you're counting on the pursuit being what it's been. Because if the Huskies come downhill to the side, near side like they have, that reverse might go for 6. But there were there's enough edge contained there on the left side where it was contained and brings up a very important 4th down and about 6.
I don't think the Rams have to snap it here if they don't want to. On the 4th down play, they will give it to Kinsler on the reverse. Kinsler trying to find the corner and is stopped about a yard short of the first down marker. Cooper tried to stretch it out, but it'll be a turnover on downs here as we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. So it'll be Burlington football to start quarter number 4. They've got the 11-point lead on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. It's Burlington 51, Dubois 40. Take a timeout. Back after this on the County 10 Sports Network.
Over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a lot over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a little over the speed limit. Look at the damage.
Redden, Kane & Associates. CPAs is your go-to source for tax, financial, and business solutions. Our experienced professionals are trusted and know the numbers. We're dedicated to providing personalized attention to each of our clients. Whether you're an individual or a business, we're here to help with all your accounting needs. Let us do the math for you. Stop in or visit rivertoncpa.com to learn more.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle and you is evident from your
Dubois High School fans giving a round of applause to their longtime head coach David Tremblay, who was announced over the public address. His last home game here at Dubois High School. Has been a head coach for 26 years, was a wrestling coach for a long time, and has just been involved with Wyoming high school sports and in this community for a really long time. I know most of Fremont County knows the story of how well the community has rallied around him after his cancer diagnosis as well. And the Tremblay family has certainly battled very resiliently, and it would be really fun here at the end of the season to see Dubois make a run into the postseason. But no matter what happens, a lot to be proud of. Gain of about 10 on the first down play there from the Huskies.
26 years coaching any sport, you're touching thousands of lives of your players and how you coach them and kind of bring them up, the kids that they're going to have. You'd be amazed the family tree, for want of a better phrase, that a coach can have on kids.
Andrew harassed in the backfield. Tremblay all over him. He does throw it away. Incomplete. Flag comes in, I believe, for intentional grounding. And boy, Wyatt Tremblay just all over Rykel Andrew there defensively.
I do think it was a forward pass, but I think you're going to get grounding. Oh, they're going to wave it off, saying maybe a receiver was in the area. It was almost a fumble, but did look like the arm was moving forward. Ends up, after all that, being an incomplete pass and no penalty.
Andrew under center this time. Receiver out to the right, going to come in motion. They'll pitch it to that receiver. And not much doing there for Jordan Brodelo. Good pursuit, Siler Hess and Jonah Ord.
Here we go again, fourth down coming up for Burlington. And a chance for the Dubois defense to get their offense back on the field and get their team right back in this game. Historically, throughout this game, Burlington has liked to run nothing real fancy, but they like that extended play where they kind of hand it off and wait for something to open up and throw it down the field.
Huskies need about 5 on the play. Michael's going to come in motion. They'll pitch it backwards. Bassett has the football and I think has just enough for a first down.
So it should be a first down, yeah, and they are going to move the sticks. Was curious where the officials were going to come in and spot it, but we had a good angle on the end of the play, and it was a first down by about a foot and a half.
First and 15.
Real close, though. Dubois with another chance. As the clock ticks at 9:04 in the fourth quarter. 11 points can be gotten real quick, but you don't want to add to that if you're Dubois on the defensive side here, and maybe a chance to pop a ball free in a fumble or make a pick. Flag before the snap here.
Gonna get an illegal substitution, maybe? Looked like it at first, but now we'll see what the... There it is. Illegal substitution will back the Huskies up.
Coach asking for an explanation here on the near sideline.
Again, Burlington had to do with the substitution.
Not sure he got a satisfactory explanation, judging from his body language, but that'll back Burlington up 5, and they'll do it again on first down and 20 now.
Andrew again under center. Kaycee's out to the right side. Michaels with the pitch, wants to throw. Hess playing defense. They'll give it to Agard. Agard will gain 5. Maybe closer to 4, and bring up a second long.
Taken down by Hawkins. Little help there from Orr.
4th reception for Hunter Agard. Unofficially 34 receiving yards.
A yard and a half on the play.
Andrew again under center. Send Kaycee in motion. Pitch it to Kaycee. Kaycee's crease was there for a second and then filled really nicely. That's Siler Hess.
It's a great job on the far side. There's nobody over there for Burlington. It's totally empty in the formation. And the Huskies trying to use that wide side of the field and break something free, but didn't get the edge. Dubois shut that down, so it brings up a third down and 16.
Want to give credit to Noah Hawkins on the pursuit there as well. Third down snap to Bassett. Bassett to Michaels. Wanted to go right back, but it's tipped away by Jonah Ord. Incomplete. Jonah's been all over the field, both sides, and disrupts the pass there.
Great play. I love everything about this play. I love the formation. I love the concept, and I love the defensive play. See those tight trips all the way down to the sideline on the right side, drawing everybody away. And if not for a great athletic play by the defender there, that probably goes for at least a first down. But now 4th and 15 plus.
2 receivers to the right side, now man in motion to the left. Michaels wants to throw again. Pass is swatted away. There's Noah Hawkins. I just mentioned him the last time around, and Noah Hawkins is there to break the pass up.
That's what you want if you're the Rams. Plenty of time. 7:14 left to go here in this one in the fourth quarter. 11 points. That's 2 touchdowns regardless of conversions. Dubois has been hit and miss on those 1- and 2-point conversions here. But a short field at what would be the midfield stripe, the 40-yard line here in 6-man football.
Siler Hess breaks the huddle. And it's actually Xander Hawkins again under center. Siler will line up on that right side. 2 in the backfield. Ord fake the handoff back to Tremblay. Now Ord fights for some space across the 35-yard line down to the 34. Gain of 6 on first down.
Took a shot at the end of that run. Fortunate to hang on to the ball.
8 carries, 59 yards for the senior Jonah Ord.
It's been fun watching him run, though. He is definitely a good change of pace back for the Rams.
Hawkins. Give it to Tremblay this time. Tremblay is going to pitch it back. And, man, that was a great pursuit by Joe Bassett. Almost an unbelievable play if that would have worked. Tremblay also could have been considered a little bit dangerous there to pitch it while he was under wraps.
That was, but in 6-man, nothing feels dangerous somehow.
That's true.
So Tremblay's fully wrapped up and pitches it there on the Campbell's replay, and that could have gone for 6.
Fumble momentarily. Tremblay's got it. There's another Tremblay pitch as he's going down. Now, this is where something crazy happens as Hess is trying to break some tackles. Siler's not going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Tremblay did a good job to try to keep it alive, but 4th and long coming up now.
As the PA explains it to the audience here.
Well, I hope she can explain it to me because I am seeing things we're not used to in 6-man football.
It's kind of wild, but we got a timeout here, I think, taken by Burlington. The net of that play was 4.5-yard loss, so it did not end up in a productive play, but we are getting the explanation from the public address announcer, who frankly we just should have mic'd up and just left because she is more entertaining than we are.
I don't think we're necessary here.
So after all that, on a couple of kind of makeshift plays on 3rd down and 4th down, now it is, as the end of this game approaches, a more serious 4th down for the Dubois Rams. And they've had trouble 4th in this distance. Any team would, because we're looking at 4th and 18, maybe a long 18 for Dubois. But maybe he used some inspiration from those last 2 makeshift plays and come up with something interesting during the timeout.
Say 4th and 14 as Siler Hess will come under center this time. Hess handed back to Tremblay to Kinsler. Now Hess again has it. Plant his feet, wants to throw, looking for Jonah Ord, and it's incomplete. Well covered by Burlington's defensive back, Rodolo. It was there, but incomplete. Not what Dubois was hoping for there. Still 5:50 to play. Rams down 51-40.
A couple of handoffs in the backfield, obviously a lot of fun to watch. You just want to see this a little bit crisper and faster in the backfield before the defense in the secondary has time to adjust. Wasn't a whole lot of fooling going on by the end of that play, but if you can get that play going a little bit quicker, might have been successful.
It's almost a basketball 3-man weave there. Bassett, pitch it back to Michaels, wants to go to Bassett again, diving attempt incomplete, and Jonah Ord, great defensive coverage again.
Well, I'm not sure you're going to see any other passes from Burlington anytime soon in this drive. Just milk that clock, up 11. Incomplete pass stops the clock at 5:44. And one more touchdown is going to make it not possible, but pretty difficult for Dubois to come back and win this game.
Shotgun set again for the Huskies. Man in motion. They'll pitch this to Michaels. Michaels wants to throw again. He's got Bassett. Bassett's got a lot of space. First down and is tackled down around the 15-yard line. Big second down pickup there. Surprised to see him still aggressive throwing the football, but that works. And as soon as the chains reset, the clock will start.
I do like simple plays that generate space. There's just not as much that can go wrong. Fewer exchanges, not so many hook and ladders or reverses. I'm a fan of that. Just pitch it, and then the pitch man releases down the field and gets a 5-yard pass. So yeah, it's not as safe, and it does run a risk, but it worked for Burlington.
Reichel will hand it back to Michaels. Michaels to Agard. He is in from 15 yards out. Hunter Agard with the touchdown.
It's just about as efficient as you can do it down the field for Burlington. I get the feeling that Dubois is on their heels a little bit defensively. Just unfortunately only caught the very tail end of that play on the Gamble's replay.
5:06 left. We'll get ready for the extra point attempt.
I think the Huskies are short a player.
Extra 2-point attempt goes high, but makes its way over the crossbar.
The wind hung that ball up there for 20 seconds, it seemed like.
It is now Burlington 59, Dubois 40 with 5:06 to play. And yeah, the wind has been steadily blowing throughout the game, but maybe becoming a little bit more of a factor. Seems like it is more of a steady breeze now. Also got quite a bit of cloud coverage here this half from Dubois High School, kind of making things a little bit more chilly. Still a nice day here in the high country in Fremont County.
We'll have hail here shortly. The only saving grace for Dubois, I think, is that drive was so quick. Didn't take a whole lot of time off the clock, and the Huskies choosing not to run the ball on that drive. And there's still plenty of time here, especially in six-man world. 59-40 with 5:06 remaining in the game.
Again, for Dubois fans, they'll have an opportunity to watch even more high school athletics this evening as Dubois' volleyball team hosts Burlington at 5 o'clock for their senior night festivities.
Quick score number one here for Dubois. In fact, see kind of a squib kick.
Will come all the way to Kinsler, who had trouble handling it at the 20-yard line and just has to dive on it.
He thought about picking that up because once you've taken one to the house earlier in the game, you're thinking nothing else can happen, but I'm going to do that again. But smart play at the end of it to fall on it. Would have been disastrous for the Rams.
5:03 to play in the ball game. Ram football at their own 20, and Dubois trailing by 19.
So you do have that 3 scores. But if you can get, especially this first one quick, get your defense back out there and make a stop, might be a different story here down the stretch.
Another Fremont County team playoff update I'll fill you in on in just a second. Is Hess rolling to his right, looking for Ord. Ord came back to catch the football. David Tremblay clapping his hands on the sideline, and a first down for the Rams.
That's a very nice adjustment at the end of the play. Receiver well aware of where he was on the field and that the ball was going to be coming in short with the quarterback, or at least the ball thrower, I guess we'll say, having to throw on the run to his right. A beautiful adjustment, good enough for a first down, gain of 16.
Dubois trying to go with some tempo here as Hess has Agard on him defensively. Now Hess looking for Tremblay. Wyatt made a great adjustment and catches it at the 25-yard line. Another first down.
Also a wide open Ram receiver, 88 over the top. I'm not sure the ball would have made it. That might have been the hesitation, but it does work out for a second consecutive first down for the Rams anyway.
Hess looked to throw for a third time in a row under some more pressure. Dances around, now will lose the football. A race to get on the football, and Burlington is there. It's Wardell who came up with it. Wardell applied great pressure, jumped on the football, and that is a backbreaker for Dubois there that was feeling some momentum on that drive after a couple of big completions. Fumble will give it back to the Huskies. Huskies.
Yeah, when you're carrying the ball, scrambling in the pocket, basically, is a way to think of it, where you're not in secure control of that ball like a running back would be, because you're obviously trying to make something happen down the field in the throwing motion, and just the defender able to knock the ball free there. Not quite over yet, but some Huskies points here would make things pretty slim.
4:13 to play. Pitch it back to Michaels. Burlington still looking to throw. They're looking at Kaycee. That's incomplete off of Kaycee's hands. Surprised we're not seeing more runs here from Burlington. The passes certainly work, but just clock's on your side. So
yeah, it's a different philosophy, I guess, where you can win by putting Dubois out of the game here. But the traditional thought process would be, especially if you're up by 3 scores, to run the clock out, run the ball.
Not a lot of traditional thoughts in six-man football, though.
Very true.
For our Fremont County viewing audience, do want to let you know that the Riverton and Evanston playoff game has been set for Friday at 6 p.m. So we'll have that for you on County 10. Again, not allowed to show video coverage, but we will be there with the audio coverage, as here comes a big play for Jordan Michaels. Michaels going to take it the distance, found that right side edge, and got a couple of steps past one defender, and he was gone.
I don't know how he didn't step out of bounds here. Watch his feet on the Gamble's replay as he tap dances along the near sideline with a good amount of speed. Not sure if you can see the sideline marker or not, but he's about as close with those cleats to the white chalk as you can possibly get without going out of bounds.
PAT is up and through the uprights, and now with 3:57 to play, Burlington continues to pull away. They lead 67-40.
Never want to say never, but that's just about going to do it. 27 points, be 4 scores, including a couple of successful conversions thrown in there too for the Rams. So wild things do happen in six-man football, but this has been a very impressive all-around performance by Burlington. Coming into Dubois. This is a 3-4 matchup. So as expected, I think I even have been proven wrong. I think I said I'd be surprised if we saw 3 touchdown differential either way, and that's where Burlington is at right now. Still some time for Dubois to try to move the ball down the field and chip away a little bit.
Rams started the second half off in scoring with a Tremblay to Hayden Howard touchdown pass, making it 45-40. It's been all Burlington since that point. They scored once in the third quarter and now 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Rams have not scored this quarter. Kinsler back deep. Wardell has it on the tee. The approach and a short kick is fielded by a Dubois up man who did a great job of handling the football and then getting some extra yardage there. That's number 40, Dylan Wagner. Wagner, a sophomore that you can't imagine was really expecting it and did a nice job handling it.
Yeah, caught it and advanced the ball a little bit. Certainly a different philosophy other than running out the clock and preserving a lead that we're seeing from Burlington.
3:52 to play. Hawkins at quarterback this time. Pitch it back to Tremblay. Tremblay, try the right side. Good patience by Wyatt. Good vision as he is drug out of bounds at the 26.
Out of bounds to stop the clock as well. And that will move the chains. Oh, wait, no, it won't. You'd think adding just 5 yards to the chains wouldn't confuse me so much, but sure enough.
Second down and 5. Ord this time off to the left side. Gains 2.
Still going to be shy of the first down marker. Third down, not that it really matters in the scheme of things now. Dubois just has the end zone on their mind. Moving pretty quickly now.
Hawkins. Take the snap, give it to Wyatt. Wyatt will hit the right side edge, goes head first into a defender, and did he stay in bounds? He did. Touchdown, Wyatt Tremblay. I can't wait to see that on the Gambles replay. Quite the run there from Wyatt with 3:17 to play.
Well, he's in trouble throughout this run as he tries to get that right edge, and he never really gets it. It's just a matter of him going through guys and keeping his balance, keeping his feet through about 4 layers of contact there. That's for those who enjoy good running back play. That's fun to watch.
Cooper Kinsler with the 2-point kick. That is no good. Looked like it was off to the left side again. We've seen that a few times with the bit of breeze, but a Wyatt Tremblay touchdown pulls Dubois a little bit closer. 3:17 to play. Burlington 67, Dubois 46.
Not sure if Dubois is running onside yet this year, or what that looks like for them, but this would be a good time to try it out. Might come in handy in the playoffs starting next week anyway. But can't think of a reason not to. Doesn't really matter if you're giving up field position at this point, just trying to climb back into the game.
There you go.
Third rushing touchdown of the game for Wyatt Tremblay. Also has a touchdown pass on what is likely his last time playing at this field. Again, the only scenario where Dubois could come back here is if Little Snake River suffered a monumental first-round upset. And, of course, Dubois has to get by Kaycee to move on to the semifinals.
I'd be very surprised if we don't see some kind of onside or a squib or something here from the Rams.
Again, just 3:17 to play. Give another thank you to Life Key. Life Key made right here in Dubois, Wyoming.
Not sure from this kickoff formation that a typical onside would be very effective, so maybe not.
Here's the approach. There is the onside kick, and it is recovered rather easily by Burlington.
Kick it at a guy and hope it bounces off of him was the thought there.
Rykel Andrew recovered it.
Crazy things do happen. Even on well-coached teams, you get drilled into your head. Here's what's going to happen. Fall on the ball. And then kids will sometimes forget it entirely and do something you're not expecting. But that was a great job of letting the ball get to you and falling right on it.
See if the Huskies are a little bit more conservative with their play calling this time. They will hand that one off to Joe Bassett, who plows forward for a gain of 3 as we approach the 3-minute mark.
That's going to take the full play clock off of the game clock, you would assume, and Huskies will more or less run this out as best they can. Even that play, nice gain of 4+ yards. A timeout here from Dubois.
Been a lot of fun to get to do a couple of Dubois games here, one at Dubois High School. We also were fortunate enough to be able to broadcast the game at Casper Christian a few weeks ago, and we'll have one more for you. I believe Wyatt Barijka is going to be on the broadcast next week as Dubois makes the trip up to Kaycee to start the playoffs. That'll be a 2 o'clock kickoff next Friday. But one more time, do want to thank the Dubois staff for having us, the Tremblay family helping us set this up. Thanks to the IT guy, Caleb, who really saved the day up here to get us on the broadcast. And thanks to all of you for watching along with us on County 10's Sports Network.
6-man's a blast, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Rams do in the postseason. I gain quite a bit of respect for Burlington, too. I'd watch out for them. But starting next week up in Kaycee, Dubois will try to extend their season.
Huskies will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They open with Farson Eden next Friday.
Looked like the ball might have come, and there was some confusion in the backfield.
A whole lot of coverage there.
I'm not sure if that was a handoff that was given to the person who was supposed to be given to, basically, there in the backfield. But somehow the ball stayed off the ground. That might have been a timely turnover for Dubois, but ends up being third down and taking quite a bit more time off the clock with 2:19 and counting in the game.
Bailey Tyronato post-game show coming up here in a couple minutes of gameplay. We'll see if we can grab Coach Tremblay and chat with him after, I'm sure, what is an emotional night, saying goodbye to your seniors on this field, but also final time you get to coach in front of the home fans. Good run to the left side for Jordan Michaels. He's going to be just short of the first down. It's real close.
Finally pushing him out of bounds.
Well,
we're going to see your measurement. Nope, they're going to say first down.
Not going to measure. It does matter because with a first down, the game's over. Basically, you do have to snap the ball, but that would just about do it with a minute 56 on the clock.
Here we go with the measurement.
Right.
The far side official signaled first down for a second, and then the white hat official came on and said, no, let's...
There's so much chain coming on the field right now.
It's going to sweep the players away.
Officials are having a hard time with it, but I don't know why this brings so much joy to me, but uniqueness of six-man football is my first 15-yard measurement. All the way on the far side of the field, too.
I like that all these Dubois fans have seen six-man for years and know exactly the ins and outs. It's going to be a little short. Nope. Not going to be short. I thought there was more chain there. It'll be a first down by the length of the football and a little bit more.
Well, that will allow Burlington to basically run out this clock, pending some kind of calamity in the backfield on a errant snap or something like that. But great effort by these Huskies. It was a lot of fun to watch them. And Dubois just was not very far behind, just got in a little bit of trouble in third down and long and fourth down situations, and Burlington able to convert on their chances.
And the football off a couple more times here inside of 2 minutes. See the Rams burn the timeout here.
There's almost nothing we haven't seen today. Trying to think of anything we haven't been able to see, but we got a kickoff return for a touchdown as Jared checks for bears behind us.
I was going to say I was waiting for wildlife to approach us when he said there's nothing we haven't seen.
I'm hoping the crowd would warn us on the far sideline, start screaming.
We'll throw Jason in the way first. Big thank you to Jason Peterson, our camera guy here, and he has been all season with us doing Riverton games, putting up with Scott and I on road trips. So one final one we get to video for you here before the playoffs. Glad to have Jason along.
Video not allowed in the playoffs. Mentioned this last night on the Riverton broadcast. We'll bring you the audio broadcast online and on the various radio stations for Riverton, but not allowed to stream those games as you've become used to. So do join us for the broadcast. Even better, Friday night, if you're a Wolverine fan in the area, come on out to Riverton High School, and Dubois has their postseason trip next week as well.
And we'll be lucky to be able to broadcast some Dubois games in the postseason, hopefully cover the Wind River Cougars as well along the County 10 Sports Network. There's a nice pickup by Jordan Michaels again to the left side. He's inside of the 10-yard line, and another first down will all but ice this one.
Stop the clock for a moment. Now they wind it with 1:40 left to go. See how the Huskies want to approach this inside the 10-yard line with the clock rolling. I think you run a nice simple thing up the middle, and if you get in, you get in, and if not, you take the time off the clock.
Wonder if you could kneel down 2 or 3 times here.
After the first down, yeah, you could.
As they're going to...
That's a better idea.
Look at the clock, and I think respect not only for their opponent, but the opposing head coach, Coach Tremblay.
Just make sure everyone stays healthy heading into their respective playoff games next week.
Here's the first kneel down, and I think we'll see one more before this game is official, but the final score once again is going to be Burlington 67, Dubois 46. Burlington's going to move on to 7-1 in the season. They have not lost to a Wyoming opponent this year. They have not met Little Snake River yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that matchup potentially may look like if it does happen. Dubois is going to fall to 5-3 on the season.
If you're a Rams fan, obviously tough to lose at home, tough to lose on senior night, but I do, as we talk about the playoffs, I do like this game being the last game of the regular season, even though it's a loss, Burlington is a team that will get you nice and ready for the playoffs. I'm not sure until you get to the final round you're going to see a team this tough for Dubois. So maybe a tough night here tonight, but maybe a good primer, just what the Rams need heading into the playoffs next week.
See the officials giving Coach Tremblay hugs, saw his teammate giving him pats on the back. The two teams will come together and shake each other's hands. One of the great scenes at the end of a sporting event. Two teams showing gratitude to one another after a hard-fought game. Again, Burlington on top of this one, 67-46. The Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show's coming up. We hope to have some words from the head coach of the Dubois Rams, David Tremblay, as he'll reflect on the regular season and look ahead to the postseason straight ahead. We'll also get you some final scoring numbers in this one and refresh you on what we know about Fremont County teams that are headed to the playoffs. We've also got our player of the game to select here in the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. Once again, the final score in this one, Burlington 67, Dubois 46. We'll take a timeout and get into our Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show after this on the County 10 Sports Network.
Looking for the best home cooking in Lander? Look no further than Ma'am Ma's Kitchen. Our mouth-watering menu will have you coming back for more. From our famous Ma'am Ma's breakfast to our burgers, we've got something for everyone. Our friendly staff and welcoming atmosphere make us the perfect spot for a family meal or a night out with friends. Don't take our word for it. Check out our rave reviews. Call us today or visit our Facebook page to learn more.
I'm John Shade, your Edward Jones financial advisor. Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement of our young athletes from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of the Lander Tigers on KOVE. Call John Shade or stop by my office at 824 West Main Street for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
RE/MAX All-Star Realtors are proud to sponsor sports across Fremont County for the 22-23 season. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors was founded in 1991 with the goal of doing real estate in a way that would make our clients' lives as easy and uninterrupted as possible. They've completed many transactions involving residential, commercial, vacant lots, farm and ranch, and investment properties, and can help you with any goal you might have regarding any of these today. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors, 938 West Main Street, Riverton. See them online at remaxriverton.com.
Central Bank and Trust is a local bank that is focused on technology and convenience. We have a simpler online mortgage application process. You can use your computer or mobile device to upload required documents and sign them online. We have a variety of personal and business banking services. Stop in or visit centralbanktrust.com. We live here. We work here.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life,
Welcome into the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. Thanks to Bailey's Fremont County for making our post-game show possible. They've got 3 fantastic pit stop locations in Riverton and the delicious Speedway Cafe. They've also got a pit stop in Lander, and they are your tire experts. It is a great time of the year to check and make sure your tires are equipped for a Wyoming winter. The pros at Bailey Tire and Auto can help you out with that. Final score tonight, it was, I guess I should say this afternoon. It's not night yet. Burlington 67, Dubois 46. Team rallied around their head coach, David Tremblay, one last time here from this field. Dubois still has some business to take care of as they head on the road to Kaycee next week to open the playoffs. Burlington looked very impressive in this one. They will start with Farson Eden, and I think it'll be a Dubois team that's hungry to get to the playoffs. But if I'm a six-man team, I don't want to run into that Burlington team either.
They look good, and doesn't always work out this way, but as I mentioned before the end of the game, sometimes it can be a good primer for an already good team to play. Just that extra level up of competition, maybe a little bit, to get yourself ready for the playoffs, and usually in those first couple of rounds, you're not going to see such stiff competition anyway. Never know what happens in the postseason. Never know how a team responds to any particular game. But definitely a great season so far for the Dubois Rams, and they have a chance to make it a really special season if they're able to win a couple of games here starting next week.
Want to run down the second half scoring numbers. Normally I do the entire game here in the post-game show, but we did that at halftime, and there were a lot of points in the first half, so I'm just going to run down the second half scoring plays. It was 45-32 at the intermission. Dubois struck first in the third quarter. It was Wyatt Tremblay to Hayden Howard, Tremblay's first touchdown pass of the season, and that pulled Dubois to within 5 at the 4:33 mark of the third quarter. Was 45-40 right there. Unfortunately for the Rams, that was as close as they would get, with Burlington rattling off 3 consecutive touchdowns. In the third quarter, with 2:40 left, it was Joe Bassett from 14 yards out, and then at the 5:06 mark of the fourth quarter, Hunter Agard had a 16-yard touchdown catch, making the score 59-40. At the 3:57 mark in the fourth, Burlington found Jordan Michaels with a 35-yard run that gave the Huskies their 67 points. Dubois would tally one more on with 3:17 to play. Wyatt Tremblay from 18 yards out, making the final score 67-46. So that's the final, and Coach Tremblay having an extended conversation with his team, so I don't know if we'll get him up here on the post-game show or not, but we will try to get some thoughts from him going into the KC game for you at county10.com if we're unable to get him on the broadcast.
And frankly, the last thing he should be worrying about is a media interview with us right now, walking off the field with his team for the last time after 26 years coaching. A lot of that probably won't sink in for some time. Sometimes it doesn't sink in until next season. But there's a lot going through the man's mind right now, I can imagine, but he's also made an impact that generations will benefit from by coaching here for so long.
Definitely. We've got an opportunity here to pick our player of the game. This is made possible by State Farm agent Tyler Watson. We thank Tyler and State Farm in Riverton. And Scott, we discussed our player of the game picks. There's certainly several possibilities for these Dubois Rams, and you want to give credit to all the seniors here on Senior Day. But thoughts on player of the game?
Well, I think there are a couple of running backs, and I'd be happy with either one. Obviously, Tremblay he's just a fun running back to watch, first of all, and his stat line, I think, is going to bear it out. And when you factor in his numbers on the ground with about a 45-yard touchdown run that was called back due to a hold, it could have been even more impressive. But there was a kind of a change of pace back here for the Rams that caught my eye that I wasn't expecting. So I could go either way.
Yeah, if you listen to Scott and I on Riverton Wolverine broadcasts, we struggle with this, and we want to try to spread the wealth around for players of the game a little bit. And the other Dubois game we were able to do was the Casper Christian game. Wyatt Barichka and I gave the player of the game to Wyatt Tremblay, who you could certainly argue is absolutely deserving of it again here. But in order to spread the wealth around, I think we have concluded that Jonah Ord is our player of the game, made possible by Tyler Watson at State Farm in Riverton. Another senior change of pace guy, and just some really big moments from Jonah Ord in this one. Once again, for you Dubois fans, we'll have playoff coverage next Friday as the Rams make the trip up to to Buckaroo Country to take on the Kaycee Buckaroos. That is a 2 o'clock kickoff Friday afternoon. And haven't gotten a Wind River start time yet. I was hoping we'd get that on the broadcast because we're waiting on that start time to know if we are able to do Wind River and Lusk from Pavilion next week. But the Wind River Cougars, number 1 seed out of the 1A 9-man West, we're headed to the playoffs, and Riverton is hosting Evanston on Friday night. We know that is a 6 p.m. kickoff next Friday night. So Scott and I will be there for that one. Jason will be there for that one as well, and we'll be able to have the audio broadcast for you, both on County 10's social media and on 105.1 Jack FM if you're in the Riverton area for that. Dubois and Kaycee on the County 10 social media accounts. With that, we're going to wrap it up here from Dubois and wish you a great rest of your weekend. We'll get some comments from Coach Tremblay maybe on the County 10 Sports podcast or at county10.com as the week goes on. I know I see our County 10 writer Randy Tucker over there, and I'm sure a story and photos and much more coming out later this week. It really is, and 26 years coaching, he's meant a lot, not only to Dubois, but when you've got a tenure like that, means a lot to the entire state, and Coach Tremblay has done it with grace and a tough diagnosis over the last few years that he's battled from very well. So.
And while he's saying goodbye to Dubois here at home, a couple of games left, hopefully, for the Rams starting next week.
Definitely. Wish Dubois nothing but the best here throughout the playoffs. And again, we'll be along next Friday for that trip to Kaycee. Final score in this one, it was Burlington 67, Dubois 46. For Jason Peterson, for Scott Fuller, I'm Jared Anderson. Have a great rest of your weekend.